Wayne Gretzky has been the hero in the postseason. During the regular season, Luc Robitaille. 2 keys for Los Angeles as they celebrate their first berth in the Stanley Cup final. The magnificent Patrick Roy, the playoffs' top goaltender, and their leading playoff scorer, Vincent Damphousse. The Montreal Canadiens will try to add to the legend of their franchise, and you'll see it all here on ESPN. Game number 1, they'll drop the puck in just a few moments' time, but we want to introduce you to the teams that are competing against each other. Let's go back to the Montreal Forum and Gary Thorne.
John, thank you very much. And back here at the Forum in Montreal, the cup has just been brought out to center ice here at the Forum. This, of course, is the 100th anniversary of the most storied trophy in all of sports, 1893 when it started. Now for the players, our PA announcer, Marcel Belanger.
Le numéro 35, number 35, Rob Stauber. Le numéro 2, number 2, Alexei Zhitnik. Le numéro 4, number 4, Rob Blake. Le numéro 5, number 5, Tim Waters. Le numéro 7, number 7, Thomas Sandstrom. Le numéro 10, number 10, Warren Reichel. Le numéro 11, number 11, Mike Donnelly. Le numéro 14, number 14, Gary Shuchuk. Le numéro 15, number 15, Pat Conacher. Le numéro 17, number 17, Gary Curie. Le numéro 18, number 18, Dave Taylor. Le numéro 20, number 20, Luc Robitaille. Le numéro 21, number 21, Tony Granato. Le numéro 22, number 22, Charlie Huddy. Le numéro 23, number 23, Corey Millen. Le numéro 24, number 24, Mark Hardy. Le numéro 25, number 25, Darryl Sidor. Le numéro 33, number 33, Marty McSorley. Et le numéro 99, number 99, Wayne Gretzky. Également sur les Kings, also playing for the Kings, le numéro 1, number 1, Rick Kenickle. Le numéro 3, number 3, Brent Thompson. Le numéro 8, number 8, René Chapdelaine. Le numéro 12, number 12, Jimmy Carson. Le numéro 19, number 19, Jim Thompson. Le numéro 27, number 27, Marc Potvin. Le numéro 28, number 28, Guy Levesque. Le numéro 29, number 29, Lonnie Leach. Et le numéro 41, number 41, Randy Sanchuk. L'assistant entraîneur, the assistant coach, Mr. Cat Rader. Et l'entraîneur-chef, the head coach, Mr. Barry Melrose. maintenant les champions de la conférence Prince de Galles. And now the Prince of Wales champions, vos Canadiens de Montréal. Le numéro 33, number 33, Patrick Roy. Le numéro 37, number 37, André Racicot. Le numéro 11, number 11, Kurt Muller. Le numéro 15, number 15, Paul Di Pietro. Le numéro 17, number 17, John Leclerc. Le numéro 18, number 18, Denis Savard. Le numéro 21, number 21, Guy Carbonneau. Le numéro 22, number 22, Benoît Brunet. Le numéro 23, number 23, Brian Bellows. Le numéro 24, number 24, Lyle Hodeline. Le numéro 25, number 25, Vincent Dampous. Le numéro 26, number 26, Gary Lehman. Le numéro 27, number 27, Mathieu Schneider. Le numéro 28, number 28, Éric Desjardins. Le numéro 31, number 31, Ed Ronan. Le numéro 38, number 38, Sean Hill. Le numéro 43, number 43, Patrice Brisebois. Le numéro 45, number 45, Gilbert Dionne. Le numéro 47, number 47, Stéphane Legault. Le numéro 48, number 48, Jean-Jacques Daigneault. Voici maintenant les joueurs qui ne sont pas en uniforme ce soir. Also the non-starting players with the Canadiens. Le numéro 1, number 1, Frédéric Chabot. Le numéro 5, number 5, Rob Ramage. Le numéro 12, number 12, Mike Keane. Le numéro 14, number 14, Kevin Haller. Le numéro 29, number 29, Jesse Bélanger. Le numéro 32, number 32, Mario Roberge. Le numéro 34, number 34, Donald Dufresne. Et le numéro 36, number 36, Todd Ewan. Les assistants entraîneurs, les assistant coaches, Jacques Laperrière, Charles Thibault et François Allaire. L'entraîneur-chef, the head coach, Jacques Demers.
Leading for the Stanley Cup 1993. Face-off is still 5 minutes away. Lots more to come. John Saunders.
All right, Gary, thanks a lot. Lots more to come from us here, too. We are fortunate to witness two of the best goaltenders as far as playoffs go right now. And, J.D., you as a goaltender can break it down for us.
Well, actually, John, both have similar styles when you really think about it. Both like to take away the low portion of the net, the spread eagle with the legs. Let's look at Kelly Hrudey first, the Kings goaltender. He's down, expecting a low shot through the screen. He's right there, spreads the leg out, robs Gilmore. You'll see a lot of Kelly Hrudey on his knees, a lot of times his chest to the ice surface. This is Gilmore on a breakaway. He's being hooked, so the goaltender has to think where the shot's coming. There is no shot, but look at Kelly Hrudey. Down, shaft the stick down, catching glove up to the side, ready in case. He's a smart goaltender, reading plays. There he finally got some help from his friends. He also is much better, I think, than Patrick Roy in handling the puck. Now, this is a power play situation. Quickly moves the puck up ice. Vancouver, who he was playing against here, a sloppy change. They catch the Canucks with too many men on the ice, and that hurt them. Here's Patrick Roy, Montreal's great goalie. Stick between the legs, eyes staring at the puck. Catching glove above the pad, perfectly concentrating. Wonderful goaltender. Here, now watch his focus. See the stick being knocked out of his arms by the Islanders' Marty McInnes? Still watches the puck, makes the save, great focus. Even Patrick Roy lets the odd bad win in too, huh? We all went through those things.
Not you. You never let any of them.
Probably a couple from this guy.
Not likely, JD.
All right, we'll find out which goaltender can get a leg up in game number one. Patrick Roy, he's been there before. 1986, the Conn Smythe Trophy winner for the champion Habs.
ESPN's presentation of the Stanley Cup Finals is brought to you by Budweiser. Fresh, pure, natural, proud to be your Bud. And by the New Dodge, a division of the Chrysler Corporation.
He is called that for many reasons. The most prolific scorer in hockey history. 4 Stanley Cups to his credit. But he says his work is not yet done.
Overtime. Center cut to front. They score! Wayne Gretzky wins it for Los Angeles.
He was brought to Los Angeles to win the cup, and he wants it. But in order to get that cup, he has got to go through the most storied tradition in the history of sport. The Montreal Canadiens. 23 Stanley Cups. 35 appearances in the Stanley Cup Finals. A tradition carried on by its new players like Patrick Roy. Someone will leave here with the cup. Will it be the first for Gretzky and the Kings? Or number 24 for Montreal? And it is jam-packed, and welcome back. This is the Forum in Montreal. This is the Stanley Cup Finals, the Los Angeles Kings and the Montreal Canadiens. Hello, everybody. Gary Thorne and Bill Clement. We are delighted to have you with us. Goaltending, always so important in the Stanley Cup playoffs. But, Bill, in this series, there is great contrast.
Well, Gary, we're talking about different styles. One word describes the LA Kings: attack. Even if it leaves them vulnerable, they're going to go for it every chance they get. Montreal Canadiens can run and gun, but they have chosen a patient style. So what does LA have to do against a patient hockey team? They're not going to have room in the neutral zone. They have to get it in deep. That means inside the hash marks. That is the light area in this shot. Against the Toronto Maple Leafs, when the LA Kings were able to get it down low, they were able to take advantage of their own speed. The Montreal defense are not as big as the Toronto defense. The Montreal defense are faster than the Toronto defense. So we'll have to see if the LA Kings can get the puck in deep and do what they do best. Nothing scientific. This is crash-bang hockey inside the hash marks. The Montreal Canadiens are patient. That means crowding the neutral zone. Very often when the New York Islanders played against the Montreal Canadiens in the last series, they'd get to the neutral zone only to be absolutely smothered. 5 Montreal Canadiens back, both defensemen, 3 forwards. So that's what we'll watch for in this one.
Andy Van Helleman will be our referee tonight. He is ready to drop the puck, and we are ready to start this best-of-7 final, the Montreal Canadiens and the Los Angeles Kings. And we'll watch for the matchups early on here, and a player down already on the far side. Right off the opening face-off away from the play, and I did not see whether there was a hit put on or a high stick. I'm not sure, but obviously there is blood, and it is Daryl Sador, the rookie defenseman of the Los Angeles Kings, who is down. He got hit in the face.
Gary had to take a stick up high, and he is really banged up. Lyle Odeline shot the puck, or maybe it wasn't the stick. Perhaps Lyle Odeline's shot hit him as he came into the picture there. Not a great start for Daryl Sador. You know, when he played here this year, or one time he played here, his first shift he was caught out of position and the Canadiens scored a goal. Yesterday he talked about trying just to block that out of his mind and get a good start, but that's not the kind of start Sador wanted.
There is Kelly Rudy, who will make the start for the Los Angeles Kings. There are the numbers he has put up thus far this season in the playoffs. And Patrick Waugh, a Conn Smythe winner. He has been to the Stanley Cup Finals twice in his career. Look at the great numbers he has put up this season, and clearly the spotlight shines right now on Patrick Waugh to start this thing along with Gretzky.
I don't think there's any question. Patrick Waugh has been the best goalie in the world simply because he has been so good for so many playoff games. Kelly Rudy has been as hot, but not for as long. All right, one more look at that hit to young Daryl Sador. Oh, man, the puck hit him, looked like square on the nose. And it looked like Odeline was just trying to get the puck in deep. Sador is one of the 2 20-year-old defensemen that the Kings started the season with. He just turned 21. He's a terrific player. Now, the Kings have 7 defensemen in uniform for situations like this. Jimmy Carson, who was the big name in the trade that sent Paul Coffey to the Detroit Red Wings, is again scratched. But Barry Melrose has 7 defensemen in the lineup. He has dressed Mark Hardy as his 7th defenseman.
Barry Melrose, who came out of the Detroit Red Wings organization, coached at Adirondack and took that team to a championship there behind the bench. First season with the Kings, and here they are. And we'll try it over again. Guy Carbonneau against Pat Conacher. It'll be chased down by the Kings in their own end. Marty McSorley out in defense at center. Played by Benoit Brunet on the far side. They've got Carbonneau, Brunet, and Dennis Savard on this line. Matthew Snyder working on defense with Lyle Odeline. Pat Conacher is centering Reichel right now. And Dave Taylor taken into the corner. Odeline in his own end jammed it up along the boards. The Los Angeles Kings noted all season for their physical play. 3-on-2 break shot. Save made. That went off the blocker that time. Reichel trying to clear it out. Taylor tips it out to center. Matthew Snyder comes back up. That's something the Kings cannot afford to do. They do it on the second shift. An odd man rush right away. Muller blocked the attempted clear.
But that's part of what the whole deal is with the LA Kings. They are an attack team, and we said they do it at all costs. They will gamble, so they will give up those odd man rushes.
The best plus-minus man for Montreal in the playoffs, Mike Keane, is out of this game with an undisclosed injury. And Gary Lehman is playing. Leclerc tried to dump it in. Knocked by Robitaille to center. Intercepted by Patrice Brisebois. He avoids the check on the far side. Canadiens back the other way. Kurt Muller. Muller tried to dump it in. He already had a man in the zone. Shuchuk's got it. Gary Shuchuk's drop pass for Blake, the defenseman, back to Robitaille. He tried to back it in and could not. Brisebois plays it up for Muller. Muller will headman the puck for the Canadiens. Just underway. Teams changing up. Kelly Rudy makes the save. Had trouble getting rid of that off the stick that time, but the Canadiens were changing, so nobody was there. Patrick Waugh will watch this one go to the other end. Hill will go back to get it. They wave off any icing on it. Canadiens will have to play it out of the zone. J.J. Daniel coming. They've got LeBeau, Bellows, and Damphousse on the line for the Canadiens. There's Vincent Damphousse, who's had a great playoff after a magnificent season for Montreal. And again, Marty McSorley just getting it out.
And that will be the line that Montreal will count on to generate a lot of their offense. Barry Melrose, in keeping with his attack philosophy, will not match against him. Whoever's up next, go out there against Montreal's top line.
Roll him over. Bellows brings it in. Daniel is shot. He missed it on the short side. J.J. Daniel going up high, short side, didn't get it on net. Wayne Gretzky. Gretzky out with Reichel and Thomas Sandstrom. It'll be played by Marty McSorley back into the zone. Kurt Muller is supposed to be the man who will keep an eye on Gretzky. He and Guy Carbonneau, the two that we'll watch for to see whether or not that pairing is made tonight. That'll be touched up with the icing call. Face off at the other end, and Stanley Cup Finals are underway.
Barry Melrose is the next player. He played in the World Hockey Association for the Cincinnati Stingers. And his coach at that time is the man that's about 40 feet away from him right now, Jacques Demers. Jacques Demers was the head coach in Detroit with the Red Wings in the late 80s. Who was the coach in the minors? Barry Melrose. So Barry Melrose, the understudy in both cases, now steps into the spotlight right beside Jacques Demers.
Does he ever? And is Los Angeles ever excited about what's going on out there? As we go along in this series, we'll be showing you some of the familiar faces of La La Land. Lots of them on hand here at the Forum, those who could find tickets. Corey Millen out to take the face-off, and a little bumping and shoving near the boards as Tony Granato getting into it. Lyle Odeline, that's not unusual. Odeline's the heavyweight for the Montreal Canadiens, number 24. And Tony Granato is one of those guys in the National Hockey League who can aggravate just about anyone.
It's 185 pounds, but Tony Granato plays like a heavyweight, and you're right. He can get in your face and aggravate, but this entire All-American line of Corey Millen in center, Mike Donnelly on the left side, and Granato, they all play like that, and are they fast.
Cutty shot wide. Corey Millen's got it. Millen, penalty coming up, delayed call. Taken out of the zone. The call's going to be in the Canadiens here in the touch-up. DiPietro shooting at an empty net. That, of course, does not count, as we've got our first penalty of the game. And the Los Angeles Kings, who have spent a lot of this year using their specialty teams because they pick up a lot of penalty minutes and they create a lot of penalty minutes in the opposition. Look who's there.
Yeah, but I think Lyle Odeline continued the battle after the play was underway. The puck was dropped, and he held Tony Granato just long enough to be called. And this has to be looked upon as a key to this series. The Montreal power play was horrendous in the last series. They only went 1 for 25 against the Islanders. Jacques Demers spent a lot of time this past week with his days off working on his power play. But Barry Melrose and his special teams have really been clicking along. You see 17.8% in the playoffs. I think more significantly, Gary, they have scored at least 1 power play every game on an average, and they scored 8 power play goals in 7 games against Toronto. That is strong.
Well, they got the chance right here. Los Angeles, Thomas Sandstrom, they're working the power play now. Gretzky will be there. Wayne Gretzky. Gretzky looking to the middle at Blake Cutting. Zhitnik from the blue line. Save made by Waugh. Robitaille scores! Robitaille back the rebound in off Patrick Waugh. And the Los Angeles Kings on a power play goal have taken a 1-0 lead.
Boy, Andy Van Hellemond was not quick to signal goal. Robitaille almost got it on the first go-around. It deflected off of him right to Patrick Waugh, and then he somehow banked this one in from behind the goal line. Look at this. Great deflection to handcuff Patrick Waugh, and then it was from behind the goal line. He backed it out off of Patrick Waugh's pad, and it had to get over the goal line because the light went on. Watch it. Terrific deflection. That's a backhand, hand-eye coordination, boy. And then off the net, off the pad, and in. And if the LA Kings are going to win this series, they got to have Luc Robitaille. He only got 1 goal in the series against the Toronto Maple Leafs, and he only got 5 total points. 4 of them came in 1 game, which was Game 6. Luc Robitaille set a scoring record for left wingers in the NHL this season. He's got to put up numbers similar to the regular season for the LA Kings to win.
They have a 1-0 lead as Robitaille gets the power play goal, and the Los Angeles Kings, who during the regular season had 102 power play goals, 3rd most in the league, have taken a 1-0 lead, and it didn't take long to get it on the goal. They had just started the power play. Credit it to Robitaille. Taylor behind the net, trying to set it up in front for Reichel. Reichel looking back to the point, decided for Taylor. Taylor off Patrick Waugh's stick. This is the kind of attack you'll get out of Los Angeles when they are on. They simply buzz it down low. Pat Conacher hit by Savard. Conacher, the veteran, behind the net. In front is Taylor. Conacher looking for him. Taylor couldn't get it. McSorley steps up. Poked away by Dennis Savard to center. Marty McSorley back for Waters. Tim Waters working on defense up to Taylor. The veteran line with Conacher and Taylor, and Reichel was on at that time.
Well, Montreal really went after Reichel. He's the tough guy. You know, part of the game plan's the little things you never hear about, but it looks like Montreal wants to try to goad Reichel perhaps into a fight. He led the NHL in fights this year with 30.
Schneider lost it to Granato. They've got a 3-on-2 chance. They've got a 4-on-3. Donnelly had to hold up, and they lost the opportunity. Good play by Schneider. Up to Leclerc. Leclerc with Lehman in the middle. Puck checked away by Charlie Hottie.
There it was.
Back out of the zone.
There it was, the attack, and now they're back at a 3-on-2.
Here comes the middle. Granato and a save by Waugh. Rebound, save by Waugh. Tony Granato, 2 chances. And Los Angeles is playing their style game right now. LeClaire dumps it wide side, tipped in by Corey Millen.
Well, you got to love it. They'll give up a 2-on-1 at one end, and they'll say, almost as if they're saying, we'll give you the 2-on-1 as long as we get the 3-on-2 going the other way. And that's what happened on that play.
They will open it up. Danfus offside, tried to play it, but couldn't. And the Los Angeles Kings in game 1 have a 1-0 lead. Goal coming at 3:03. Robitaille from Sitnik and Thomas Sandstrom.
You know, I really felt that Luc Robitaille would step it up in this series. I mean, he's a local guy. He was born and raised in the suburbs of Montreal, and there's nothing that brings it out of you like coming back home to play. Yvan Cornway, the Roadrunner, was Luc Robitaille's idol when he was a kid. Luc didn't inherit the Roadrunner's skating speed, but he sure's got the scoring touch like him.
Raised wide over to Danfus. Danfus in his own end, as right now the Los Angeles Kings are really pitting the puck up and keeping it in the offensive zone. Rob Blake the shot. Save made by Waugh. Rebound comes to the near side. Kings all over the place. Blake one-timer. Save. Waugh. Screen by Reichel in front. Danfus trying to clear it out. Does. Here's a 2-on-1. Lehman dumps it off. Right side. Shot. Save made by Healy. Bellows the opportunity in a 2-on-1 break, but they couldn't get it as Kelly Rudy made the save. Patrick Waugh directing traffic at the other end. Touched up by Desjardins. But boy, Los Angeles, you want to see their style. We're seeing it.
Live by the sword, die by the sword. But so far the Kings are just getting injured. They're giving away the 2-on-1s, but they haven't been scored on. Kelly Rudy says, I don't mind 8-6 games as long as our team ends up with the 8. The defenseman had pinched in on the far end. Thomas Sandstrom was backing him up, and Sandstrom actually stayed in a pinch situation, so that left Zhitnik there all alone in the 2-on-1. Here's an LA chance just before that. Warren Reichel, number 10. We mentioned him as being a tough guy, a strong guy, limited ability, but an overachiever, and he is going to jam like crazy in front of Patrick Waugh.
Cap Rader, the assistant coach. There is Robitaille, who's picked up the goal here in the first period. Gary Curry, the second leading goal scorer in playoff history. Is sometimes line mate and teammate, of course, 99. Wayne Gretzky holds that record along with all those others in the National Hockey League. Cleared up the middle as they try and break it. Ed Ronan was there. Ronan's got to wait for DiPietro to clear the zone. Waters got a piece of it. He got bumped off the boards, and McSorley will play it around. On the near side, J.J. Daigneault, the shot kicked away. Canadiens trying to do something offensively here. Down 1-0, lost it. Shuchuk drops it back. They'll drop the pass back and then start up ice. They love to hit guys on the flow. Waugh left it behind the net, jammed around by Hill, tipped out of the zone. McSorley back again. We're already seeing the ice time of Marty McSorley and how important he's been to this team. DiPietro, he was offside. A whistle. So much noise they couldn't hear it, and boy, is Granato getting under everybody's skin.
Well, he went after Gilbert Dion because the whistle obviously blew, at least obvious to me. I could hear it, and I would expect Gilbert Dion could hear it down on the ice, but he took a shot, even though it was a sharp angle shot after the whistle. Now McSorley and Ed Ronan standing toe-to-toe. You know, these two teams were throwing back and forth these love bouquets before the series. We respect each other, great teams. There won't be any rough stuff. I wondered how long all of that stuff was going to last, and I didn't think it would last very long. Here's the play. Now, the play was blown down as an offside, but watch what Dion does. Kicks it off the skate blade, fires anyway. Rudy can't let up. Even if he thinks he has heard the whistle, he can't let up. Dion can because he's the shooter. And as Tony Granato went in to say, hey, don't do that anymore, because players on every team take exception to that. Their goaltenders are vulnerable, and that's why they do it, because sometimes a goaltender will let up, even though you think he's going to keep his focus, and it's dangerous if the shot comes. So that's an unwritten rule. You never shoot after the whistle.
Well, the Canadiens are going to pay for it. You saw the cross-check Gilbert Dion put on it. Guy Carbonneau, the captain, is arguing with Andy Van Hellemond about it, but it's going to be another Los Angeles power play, and the high sticking call on Dion coming at 6:12 here. Los Angeles has already scored one power play goal. They're going to go back on it again.
Well, Tony Granato is still hurting from the last series with a bunch of stitches in his lip and his top lip. He was cut on the inside and the outside. There he is. Great look at it. And he walked into that cross-check that came up at least to the front of his shoulder pads and was willing to lay it down, take one for the team. But that's what this is all about. Tony Granato, Tim Waters of the Kings. These guys got cut to ribbons against the Toronto Maple Leafs. You know what they're all saying now? Boy, was it working.
Wayne Gretzky comes out again on the power play. So let's see if the Kings can take advantage of it again. They have piled up the power play opportunities here in the playoffs, just as they did during the regular series season, and they're going to try and do it again right here. Blake's got it. Blake comes to the line, dumps it in by Gretzky. Gretzky, Robitaille, and Sandstrom up front of the power play. Jitnik would play along with Blake at the line. Matthew Snyder got a piece of that. Blocked it to Guy Carbonneau in the penalty-killing unit. Can't get it by Blake. Blake fought along the line, but Benoit Brunet was there to get it out. Held on to for Zitnik at the other end. Power play with a minute 25 left on it. Cleared up again by Guy Carbonneau. Kelly Rudy again will play it at the top. Over for Blake. Blake. Zitnik circling. The penalty killers changing up here for the Canadiens. They get Muller out of the ice on it. Gretzky tips it in by Matthew Snyder. Brisebois from behind the net. Lehman took a hop. Almost on Zitnik's stick. Kurt Muller up front. Muller's got it. Muller coming to Snyder. Short-handed Muller. Save made by Rudy. Sandstrom gets pushed into the crossbar by Muller, but there was no rebound.
Well, you know, we have talked about Montreal being patient and the LA Kings being the attack team. The Canadiens are capable of playing attack hockey, and they did on that play because they've got good wheels back in defense. They can get up on the play. And Wayne Gretzky, what else is new? He's always tied for the lead in something or ahead of everybody else. And Kurt Muller will have at least part of the responsibility of playing against Wayne Gretzky. Here is the problem for Jacques Demers, the Montreal coach. He's a four-line guy. He, like Barry Melrose, likes to send his four lines over. And Al Arbour of the New York Islanders said, the one thing about the Montreal Canadiens that will hurt you is that they've got four lines all capable of doing it, of hurting you. If Jacques Demers matches Muller and Carbonneau exclusively against Wayne Gretzky, all Melrose has to do is play Wayne Gretzky a lot to keep at least line number 3 and possibly line number 4 off the ice. And one of those lines is LeBeau, Bellows, and Domfus, their scoring lines.
Marty McSorley got it out through center ice. 50 seconds remaining on the Canadiens penalty. Third back into the zone, the Montreal penalty killers getting it done here. An incredible 109 power play opportunities in the playoffs already for the Los Angeles Kings. They live and die with their specialty teams. Granato goes to the corner. Desjardins was there. Poked it away. Shot saved by Waugh. Oh, what a chance Yari Curry had. Oh, man. Kelly Rudy just missed the puck at the other end. It went by him, and fortunately for him, it went by the net as well.
Gary, it was just like a football player, a receiver that was running before he caught the ball. He was looking up ice and shot, and all he got was air. He just nicked the puck.
Desjardins into the glove of Kelly Rudy has looked a little shaky here in the opening half of this first period, but the Kings have the 1-0 lead on Robitaille's goal. They're still in the power play. Granato blocked by Domfus. Honey the shot, saved by Waugh. Rebound loose in front, swept wide. Yari Curry. Curry looking in front for Donnelly. Had it blocked, even strength. On the line up for Domfus. Canadiens back. Full strength in the middle. On the line. Tied up behind the net, Marty McSorley. Two big guys right there going at it. Intended for Domfus, blocked in behind the net. Giving chase. On the boards, Granato. Matthew Snyder takes a shot at him, but Granato got it out of the zone.
They all seem to be going for Granato's mouth as well. I mean, it's that time of year when the Schneider hands came up. Tony Granato was very quick to turn his face because he was coming right for his lip again.
No mercy will be shown here. Near side for Gretzky. Could not reach it. J.J. Daniel drops it off Hill. Sean Hill. Hill going to the middle. Blocked by Sandstrom. He leaves it for Blake. 11 minutes left to go. First period. Los Angeles leading it on a power play goal. 1-0. Robitaille has it. Muller in. Muller couldn't get around Sandstrom. Jitnik dropped it off. Gretzky coming to the middle. Gretzky's got two whites with him, so he'll wait. Gretzky the circle at center. Wayne clears it in. Reichel the intended. He'd been stopped by Gary Lehman along the boards. J.J. Daniel up for Muller. Muller coming. Muller with Lehman and Leclerc with Mike Keane out of the lineup. Back. Muller shot. Partially blocked into the corner. Down he goes. He and Blake collided. Blake blocked Muller's shot. Zitnik in the corner. Lost it. Leclerc tried to get it out in front of Muller. Kelly Rudy was there around but not out. Hill holds it in. Back for Muller. Lehman can't get it lined up. Good play by Tomas Sandstrom. Knocked away by Reichel from Muller. Held on to Leclerc. Leclerc round the net. Leclerc tried to center. Blocked by Blake. Daniel's shot. Save made Kelly Rudy. That one, Andy Van Helden got a piece of that in the corner. Rob Blake clears it out. And it'll be sent up ice just to take the heat off here. J.J. Daniel goes back to get it. Both teams change it up. 9:58 left to go. Shots are 8-7 in favor of Los Angeles. Halfway through the first, a lot of shots in this game, and that's got to favor the Kings.
Well, you would have to expect that both goaltenders are in that zone that we talk about, the focus zone. Both Patrick Waugh and Kelly Hrudey, we've seen them make terrific saves. The Kings have gotten one by Patrick Waugh, but Kelly Hrudey has been terrific at his end.
Off the face-off, it'll be won by Montreal in their own end. Brisebois sends it around the boards. Kelly Hrudey watches that one go. Stepping up, Gilbert Dion held it in. Desjardins' shot is blocked out to center ice. Canadian defenseman clearly aware of the rushing Kings. That puck starts back out of that zone. They are turning and fleeing to get back there. Ronan, he gets pinned up by Mark Hardy. Dion centered shot, save! Kelly Hrudey sweeps it in as Brisebois was going by.
Some coverage breakdown for the Kings. You got to get kind of Velcro man-to-man. Now you can see the situation in the corner, two men there, but then when the other defenseman, Charlie Huddy, moved in, it's the forward that's against the attacking forward that's got to look around. You see, when Huddy moves in, he's counting on coverage behind him, and it just didn't happen. Paul DiPietro moved by Pat Conacher, and that was the jump that he needed. Boy, you talk about a bonus player. I think to get this far, Gary, every team that gets to the finals has at least one bonus player on the roster. That's Paul DiPietro for the Montreal Canadiens. He scored more goals in the playoffs than he has during the regular season.
And it may be Pat Conacher for the Los Angeles Kings, who's had a year nobody anticipated, playing as well as anybody. That's according to Wayne Gretzky. You'll see Conacher out there a lot, including on the specialty teams. 1-0 lead for the Los Angeles Kings here in Game 1. Dion brings it in from Ed Ronan. Dumped it. DiPietro didn't get there. And a penalty.
Kelly Hrudey. Montreal is on the power play. Here's the penalty to Kelly Hrudey. Watch the puck go flat on the blade of his stick. That's the biggest reason that he shot it over the glass without touching anybody or anything. And that's an automatic 2. But he was a victim of the flat puck and his stick.
Now can the Canadiens match the power play goal picked up by Robitaille of the Los Angeles Kings. First power play opportunity of the game for the Montreal Canadiens here in the playoffs. Montreal's power play has struggled. Desjardins drops it. They'll have Bellows, Muller, and Gilbert Dion up front on it. Danfus playing back with Brisebois, and Los Angeles is challenging the puck. They're coming right after it in the corner. Danfus shot, deflected in front, cleared up, and Conacher couldn't get it out. Danfus able to hold it in. Near side, Bellows centered off the side. Muller, shot! Dion never got it. Tried to get it back to Danfus. Marty McSorley tried to rush, couldn't get it out. Danfus holds it in, back to the line. Brisebois, Bellows. Power play for Montreal. Los Angeles up 1-0. Shot on, deflected in the corner. Wrapped around the boards. Dion just stood there and blocked it. Dion's pass back to Bellows. Montreal holding it in the zone here. Back along the line, Brisebois will leave it for Dion. Dion looking in front. Dion was trying to get the tip in front of the net. Never got a stick on it. Cleared up and out of the zone. Pat Conacher, Marty McSorley. Here they come short-handed over to Taylor. They had a chance right there, but Taylor was on the legs.
They needed a change. But what the Los Angeles Kings will do on their penalty killing is start Conacher and Dave Taylor on their first penalty killing unit, and then counter with Wayne Gretzky and Jari Kurri, hoping to catch a tired power play on the ice. That time it was the penalty killers that got tired and had to change, but here we go with the second unit on the kill now with Jari Kurri and Wayne Gretzky.
40 seconds left on this power play chance for Montreal, and they're starting from behind their own net. Hill gets it up for John LeClair. LeClair just lost control of it at center to Gretzky. He'll drop it back. Blake's got it. Blake short-handed up ice for Gretzky, and Gretzky sends it in. Patrick Waugh to the side of the net. 20 left on this power play for Montreal. Shots are even at 8. 7:15 left to go here in the first period. Matthew Snyder over to LeClair. LeClair dropped it in the middle. Kurri was there. Gretzky coming short-handed. Gretzky's got Kurri on his left. That's a 2-line offside pass. Let's check in with John Saunders.
Time now for the Stanley Cup flashback, brought to you by Dodge. The only previous NHL game played in June was last year. Ron Francis scored the game winner. Pittsburgh beat Chicago 6-5. Their second straight Stanley Cup championship. Mario Lemieux for the second straight year, the playoff MVP. Back to Gary and Bill.
John, thanks very much. A sellout crowd here at the Forum. Wayne Gretzky, of course, back here. Doesn't get here often since they play in the other conference. These teams met only 3 times during the regular season. A couple of ties. Montreal picked up a win in one of them, and that was all they faced one another.
The low point, Wayne Gretzky said in his career, was a 7-2 loss here in the Forum when Wayne had just come back from injury, and things went from bad to worse for the LA Kings. Wayne has said that if next year doesn't go well, he will not go through the same thing and will retire at the end of next year. So if he does not play well next year, and that still has to be defined, he will retire at the end of the year.
Ed Ronan, save made Kelly Rudy, and he hangs on. Let's check in, get an injury update here. Tom Mees with us. Tom?
All right, Gary, right in the first few seconds of the game, defenseman Darryl Sador suffered an injury. Puck hit him in the mouth. Extensive stitches on both the upper and lower lip. He is expected to return. May not be till the second period, though. No teeth were loosened or anything like that. Just a lot of stitches. Gary, back to you.
All right.
Well, welcome to the group. Welcome to the LA group. There was the shot from Lyle Odeline. What was it? Just a couple of seconds into the game, right off the opening faceoff. When I say welcome to the group, a lot of the LA Kings are banged up.
Add some more stitches. Face-off, DiPietro will take it. Teams are at even strength here. Full strength at 6:55 to go in the first. DiPietro will have to wait. Chased out of the zone. Corey Millen. And Granato moves in. Los Angeles likes to be an aggravating team. They'll do the little things that really annoy you. A little extra sticking, waiting a little longer to take face-offs, moving a little slower than you'd like. It's all just to try and gain that mental edge.
And it's all part of the attack philosophy. If you think about it, that's Barry Melrose' philosophy. Get them off their game, attack. I mean, his philosophy is we're going to be the hunters, let the other team act as the hunter.
J.J. Daigneault, near side Ronan. Daigneault got dumped in the corner, gets back up for it. He's tied up there. Puck still free along the boards. Canadiens trying to get it out of the zone. Do not. Held in by Granato again. Corey Millen in behind the net. Brisebois, piece of him. Donnelly moved in to help. Ronan found the free puck. And Ronan got it up and out of the zone. DiPietro couldn't control. Dumped right back in. Taken behind the net. Canadiens not able to mount offensively here a lot thus far in this first period. DiPietro hauled down by Zitnik, who got the stick in pretty good right there. Ronan sends it in. And Rudy again goes back to get it. Blake, both teams will change it up on the fly. 1-0. Kings up. 5:54 left to go in the first period. Matthew Schneider. Schneider coming near side to Savard. Dennis Savard. Back. Schneider. Save. Rebound. Sitting in front. Tomas Sandstrom was there. Gretzky's got it. Savard's down behind the play. Gretzky and winds up. Save by Waugh. Wayne Gretzky coming down all alone on the left wing side, about as big a windup as you'll ever see. And there's Savard, who went down at the far end, limping back.
Yet the reason that the Kings had an outnumbered advantage going into the other zone is that Savard was down in the corner. Here he is with a really nifty pass here. It looked like he was going to do a spinorama, but a nice pass to Matt Schneider. Kelly Rudy tucked back in his net because he saw pressure coming from the other side. And while Savard slipped and went into the corner, buried, reverse angle look at Wayne Gretzky on the break, surveyed the situation, tried to rip one up, and the LA Kings are a high-shooting team. They don't have to look at the scouting report that says Patrick Waugh is weak high. They shoot high anyway, and after Game 5 against Toronto, they were shooting too high. They were missing the net. Barry Melrose said, forget about high, guys. Just get shots on goal.
Here comes Guy Carbonneau again. Carbonneau down the middle. Puck checked away by Zitnik. They go to the corner for it. Reichel's over there with him. Carbonneau and Reichel. Reichel pushed it away, but Brunet's got it. Benoit Brunet's shot gloved by Kelly Rudy. It wasn't on net. He played it at the side and held on. 5:18 left to go here in the first, and the Kings leading at 1-0. And our Budweiser Stanley Cup summary: the Canadiens' 35th appearance in the final. Kings and Canadiens, the only teams with winning road records in the playoffs. Gretzky, of course, up there along with Ray Ferraro in the lead for goals scored in the playoffs. And Gilmore still on top with 35 overall playoff points this season. Recognized leader of this team. The C may be worn by Guy Carbonneau. Kirk Muller.
There's no question. Kirk Muller told me this morning that he kept a real low profile all week. Asked him what he did, if he went out around shopping malls, whatever. You know, you go out for dinner, stuff like that. What do you do when you got a week off between series? And I watched a lot of television, and I kind of went into seclusion and kept a low profile. He is trying to avoid getting caught up in the atmosphere of this whole thing. He wants to enjoy it, but if you get caught up in it, you lose your focus.
Yep, lose what you do best. Charlie Honey stepped up trying to hold it in. Muller was there to knock it away. Muller got a stick up in Robitaille's face. Robitaille's down, no call. Dropped off. They're letting the play go on. Muller in front, couldn't get it. Muller trying to run it in again. Cleared out the center. There's Robitaille back up. Robitaille and Shuchuk. Robitaille moving in. Dumps it in by Waugh. Blocked by J.J. Daniel. Robitaille tried to draw that high sticking call as he went down. When Muller went by, getting to the stick around the helmet. Andy Van Hellemond standing there had no part of it. Comes back to Muller, over to Daniel. J.J. Daniel waiting. Canadiens are changing. Penalty coming up as Gary Lehman got hit. Delayed call. It's going to be on Los Angeles. A delayed penalty. Waugh has gone to the bench. Extra skater is out. That's Damphus. Damphus with it. A whistle to come here on Los Angeles. Lyle Odeline to LeBeau. LeBeau moving in. Drops it off. Glove near side. Dion shot! And deflected by McSorley to the corner. Granato will touch it up, and that will get the whistle. And the penalty with a power play again coming from Montreal.
Well, Jari Kurri has picked up the penalty. It was away from the play, and if you're wondering why the Canadiens didn't mount much of an attack with Patrick Waugh on the bench for a sixth attacker, they never got the sixth guy out there. They played 5 skaters to 5, and I guess it was because Vincent Damphus was coming on anyway, and everybody thought he was the sixth guy. He was due for a shift.
There you see Pat Conacher, we were talking about earlier. Boy, this veteran who everyone thought, including him at one point, that maybe my career is over, has found himself a new life, and do they ever love him in Los Angeles. Talked to his coaching staff about him, and this 34-year-old gets all to-dos.
Coming into his own.
That's right, just getting there.
Got a lot of years left.
That's what Patty said. I've only just begun. Matthew Schneider, up for Damphus to Bellows.
He's just too small at 5'7". He's just too old at 34, and he's had a terrific year. That's all.
Can't play physical enough. Power play for the Canadiens. Los Angeles leading on a power play goal by Robitaille. Brisebois. Brisebois deflected way wide to Schneider. Schneider dumping it. McSorley there. McSorley will send it the length of the ice. Here in the playoffs, Los Angeles has picked up 5 shorthanded goals. The Canadiens have not given one up. They'll be challenged in this series in that department.
But if Montreal wants to get their power play going, this is the penalty-killing unit to pick, because the LA Kings have given up 22 power play goals, and that's better than 1 a game in every series that they've played.
Montreal with Bellows on the power play unit. 1:11 left to go in the chance. Intercepted McSorley after Tomas Sandstrom has made the play. McSorley sends it out. He waited to see whether anybody could get free. There was none. Los Angeles during the regular season shorthanded more than any other team in the National Hockey League. Total of 529 shorthanded situations for Los Angeles during the regular season. Just that style of game they play. Granato, he's shorthanded. Wow, the save, but it went through the pads and wide of the net. On the far side, Lehman will play it up. 39 left on the power play. Gilbert Dion. Dion drops it back. Gary Lehman trying to bring it in, and they're offside. Blake getting a little piece of Dion as they moved in, and that'll gather the crowd along the boards.
You know, we will be watching and tracking the odd man rushes. Those are 2-on-1s, breakaways, 3-on-2s, an odd man advantage as you attack offensively. Well, Barry Melrose team wants to get a lot of those. I mean, they have 3 in this hockey game so far. And guess what? The Montreal Canadiens in 5 games against the New York Islanders only gave up 6 odd man rushes. They have given up 3 already. They have had 3 themselves. That means that the LA Kings are dictating the style. Once you spread it out and you get a break at one end, you're going to give up a break at the other end. That's not the way Jacques wants it, but he has to play it that way when LA gets their break.
This team has not lost a game here at the Forum this year. They are 8-0 in the playoffs. They've outscored the opposition 32-18 here at the Forum in the playoffs, including the goal picked up by Los Angeles in this game. 2:40 left to go here in the first period. Shots 11-10 in favor of the Kings right now, and they have the lead. Dion able to hold it in. 30 seconds on the Canadian power play. Sean Hill's got to wait. Waters right in front of him forces him to go back a little bit further. Desjardins off the boards. Dion dumping it in, and he got ladled by Blake after he did. Waters clears it around, knocked down by Lehman. Gary Lehman back to the point. Sean Hill the shot blocked. This is what LA loves to do. Block it and get going. Pat Conacher. Conacher 3-on-3. Shorthanded Taylor. Taylor. His shot blocked. Desjardins, and Pat Conacher goes down. He got hit in the face. Another high stick. Conacher, though, looks though he is all right. Let's check in, though, with Al Morganti on another player. Al?
Gary, we have no official report on Denis Savard. However, it looks like his right foot, which was bruised earlier in previous series. I can tell you that he came off the ice in excruciating pain, had to be helped by 2 Canadiens attendants, and he was slamming the wall in pain as he came off. All this week, he spent a lot of time in the trainer's room, and it looks like he's seriously hurt.
I'll tell you, it is a matter of survival.
Yep, and he's waited a long time to get to this stage. page. Watch the LA Kings here a man short. See 3 black sweaters attacking the blue line. At the top right, Tim Waters, number 5, the ultimate defensive defenseman. Everybody has a green light, even when they are shorthanded. Once again, the philosophy, attack.
Charlie Huddy, another veteran, has found a place here on this team. 5 cups with Edmonton. Charlie Huddy now 34 years old as well. He's got it. Backhands it out of the zone. Yari Curry tipped it. DiPietro's got it. Montreal has not converted on 2 power play chances here in this first period, and LA's got the lead. Ed Ronan. Ronan's got DiPietro. Scored! Off Gretzky's stick! A centering pass deflected in off the Los Angeles Kings to tie this game at 1.
DiPietro was wide open in front. Wayne Gretzky could only get his stick in between the pass and Paul DiPietro, and you saw him shake his head. But a good play by Ed Ronan, number 31 of the Canadiens, and a nice pass. You can see Wayne just reached out to try to tip it anywhere but to Paul DiPietro. Also anywhere but behind Kelly Rudy, and he didn't get that one. Perfect deflection in behind Rudy to tie the game.
1-1. Red Ronan again. Shot. LeBeau shot. Blocked by Granato behind the net. And the Canadiens come back to tie it up. Ronan will be credited with a goal that went in off Gretzky's stick. Played back by Matthew Schneider. The Kings trying to put the forechecking game on here. Blake back to get it. Drives it out of the zone. Zhitnik is there. Partially blocked at center by Bellows. Zhitnik ran it away to Donnelly. Donnelly coming. 3-on-3. Donnelly with Ottolijn. Centered. Blocked. That one hit wise stick. Here comes Brisebois the other way. Bellows following. Leclerc shot wide. And a whistle on an offside as Zhitnik is into it now in the corner.
So the snarl has started. Rob Blake pushing back and forth. And here is Wayne Gretzky with his deflection. You know, when you're coming into this situation, and there was hardly any room, but when you're back checking like that, maybe Wayne's thinking about it. I don't know anybody else that would think about it. Most guys aren't thinking about what happens if I deflect it the wrong way. You're just focused on intercepting the pass. And if you intercept it, as soon as it hits your stick, then you start thinking, uh-oh, where's it going to go? But there was what? There couldn't have been more than 5 inches, and the puck is 3 inches wide.
It was a perfect tip.
It was.
Ed Ronan got credit for it. Coming up, our Dodge intermission report. Then Schoenfeld standing by, showing his shift. JD on hand. JD's keys in this one. John will whip it around for you during our first intermission. 1-1 with 1:08 left to go here in the first. Ronan gets the goal, his second of the playoffs. Leclerc and Matthew Schneider at 18:09.
If there's anything that will strengthen Wayne Gretzky's resolve, it's something like that. He now feels that he owes his team at least one. You know, right after that, we went back to play. The LA Kings All-American line with Granato and Millen and Donnelly attacked. They attacked too deep. Matt Schneider jumped up in the play. 3-on-2 for Montreal coming the other way.
And we're down to the final minute here of the first period. Brisebois behind the net. That's going to be touched up for the icing call. And that's a face-off that'll come back the other way. So that's an advantage here for Montreal. We will be right here on Thursday. The Stanley Cup Finals continue on ESPN. Game 2, 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific. Gretzky, Waugh, and companies. And we'll take it as far as it goes. Right here on ESPN, our coverage of the Stanley Cup Finals. There is nothing quite like it. John Leclerc, who the Canadiens are looking to have a big series. This University of Vermont player, only 23 years old, has been very important for them here in the playoffs. Their scoring has been spread out. They've had Damphus getting a lot of the work done for them, leading them with 10 goals and 9 assists, but they've needed a lot of help from other people. Into the corner, Robitaille back out on the ice, couldn't get it away from Muller. Muller avoiding the check along the boards. Swept out of the zone. Leclerc giving chase. Marty McSorley with him. McSorley and Leclerc. McSorley trying to protect the puck. Good job by Leclerc. McSorley a takedown. Muller kicking at it right back into McSorley, and that's where it'll be tied up for a faceoff with 28.8 left to go in the first period.
You know, you mentioned John Leclerc. The Canadiens are hoping he has a big series. At 212 pounds, he's their best boardsman. So if the play shifts to the corners, the trenches in front of the net, behind the net, John Leclerc has to play to his size, which is huge, and he is strong. He's their bull. There's no question about it. Marty McSorley is 225 pounds, so you're talking about two of the big guys in hockey right here. Leclerc decided to go for the puck and not just ram McSorley, and it was a good decision because watch this. The puck actually squeezes out behind. Now, if Marty McSorley doesn't do a judo takedown right there on John Leclerc, Leclerc's out.
Pretty good takedown.
It was a great. I gave him a pretty good mark.
I gave an 8-5 on that, actually. Robitaille at 3:03 at the power play goal, answered by Ed Ronins at 8:09 on the even strength. To tie the game up at 1-1, 20 seconds remaining. You're looking at the time left here in the first period. Danfus ahead. Bellows wants to back it in. Couldn't get it by, but he was there to block it. Los Angeles trying to get a final run here. Near side to Taylor. Taylor with Conacher trailing. Taylor the shot. Wow, blocked it to the far side corner. Maybe one more shot right here. Nope, that's going to do it. We've completed the first period. The Stanley Cup Finals 1-1.
And the attack guys dictated the style. Sure, Montreal is going to take what the Kings gave them, but odd man rushes all over the place. The Kings couldn't capitalize on their 2-on-1s and 3-on-2s except for one time.
Boy, this great contrast between these two teams is going to make for one heck of a series. All right, we've completed one here at the Forum of Montreal, Los Angeles, and the Canadiens tied at 1 apiece. John?
All right, Gary and Bill, thanks a lot. 1-1 after one period of play as we are just underway in the Stanley Cup Finals. Welcome to the Dodge Intermission Report. Between periods, we'll hear from John Davidson and Jim Schoenfeld, their impressions of the first period, and we'll take a closer look at Marty McSorley, black eye and all. He had a terrific playoff against the Leafs. What can he do against the Montreal Canadiens? Meanwhile, Wayne Gretzky had a terrific playoff against the Leafs as well. Unfortunately, this one went off him into the goal, and that's why we're tied 1-1 after one.
The Dodge Intermission Report is presented by the new Dodge, a division of the Chrysler Corporation.
Welcome back once again to the Dodge Intermission Report. We are tied 1-1 after one period of play in game number 1 of the Stanley Cup Final. Jim Schoenfeld in the first period. It started out early, the Los Angeles Kings applying a lot of pressure, but in the end, with a lucky goal, we're just tied.
Yeah, they do apply a lot of pressure. When you apply a lot of pressure, sometimes you have a tendency to get all three forwards caught. That enabled the Canadiens to counter, and Montreal countered extremely well that period. We'll see right here, 1, 2, and here comes the third King, and out the Canadiens break, a 3-on-2, and you'll see a nice pass from Bellows to Gilbert Dion, the one-timer, but it misses its mark. Again, the Kings in the attack. Look at they stand up. The defenseman is Matthew Schneider, and he's going to join the rush here. The pass from Savard, a good quick release. That was the third rush for Matthew Schneider. He had a very strong first period for the Canadiens.
ESPN's presentation of the Stanley Cup Finals is brought to you by the new Subaru Impreza. Subaru, what to drive. And by Suave Super Stick Deodorant for Men. Powerful odor protection at an unbeatable price.
That's all you need to see, just the Forum, because there's only one of those babies, and we're at it. Great to have you with us. ESPN's coverage of the Stanley Cup Finals. We've completed one period. Kings and Canadiens tied at 1-1. Gary Thorne, Bill Clement. You've already seen here in the first period why Los Angeles was 6th in offense during the regular season and 21st on defense. Just open her up, baby, and let her flow.
Yeah, and don't we like it?
Yeah.
I mean, if Montreal and Toronto had gotten into the finals, I think we could have thrown the puck away for the first 2 or 3 games, really, because it would have been that tight. Not so with the LA Kings. Their philosophy is attack, and that's the way they played the first period.
And we've seen the goaltenders have to work here. I think we're going to see more of that. Goaltenders are going to be busy.
Well, especially with the odd man rushes. We're going to look at a play now with the LA Kings getting their defenseman jumping up on the play, and that's how they gave away a 2-on-1 in the first period. And on this play right here, the good neutral zone takeaway by the LA Kings to keep this play alive and keep it headed down ice. You can see the takeaway right there. Now they've got 3 guys coming, but if we stop right here, what we're going to see is stop it right here. Well, there's Charlie Huddy now. He is pinched all the way into the net. Here is Tony Granato. He's supposed to stay out here to cover for Charlie Huddy. Does he? Watch. Granato is a forward, and here he comes. Boom. We stop right here again, and you can see that Montreal has 2 guys headed this way. So Tony Granato, well, that's their style. Go for it. Attack. Tony Granato did it on that one and gave away a 2-on-1.
1-1 at the end of the first period here at the Forum. The assistant coach of the Los Angeles Kings, the former goaltender himself by the name of Cap Raider, Tom Mees, down by the Kings locker room. What you got with him?
I'm with LA Kings assistant Cap Raider. Cap, you were seen on the roving eye of the TV camera talking to Wayne Gretzky at the end of the period. What did you say?
Well, that was a tough break. Actually, he was doing a great job back checking, and it just happened to go off his stick. If it didn't go off his, it would have gone off the Montreal Canadiens stick. So he did a great job. He just got to keep his head up, and he'll get it back.
Were you pleased with the pace? Were you and very pleased with the pace of the first period?
We were very pleased. One area of concern was they got a 2 3-on-2s and 2 2-on-1s, and they activated the defense a lot more than we thought they were going to do early in the game, so we're going to be very aware of that.
Okay, adjustments coming in the second period.
Hopefully, yeah.
All right, back to you, Gary.
All right, Tom, thanks very much. Shots are even at 11 through the first period of play. The goals picked up by Robitaille at 3:03 and Ed Ronan at 18:09. Second period underway. Even strength here. Matthew Snyder back in his own end. Both goaltenders have been worked. There have been good chances at each end that have been denied. Gretzky in his own end. Had it knocked away but not out. Lehman able to hold it into Muller. Muller looking in front. Muller goes back to the point. Lau Odeline. Odeline the one-timer. Tip Leclaire. Rebound. Kelly Rudy save. Puck still loose. Now he's got it. And Andy Van Hellemond moves in front. Quiet the crew.
Boy, the Canadiens had the right guy in front. Their bull, John Leclaire, was fighting it out in front, and Daryl Sidora's return to the lineup for the LA Kings. Remember, he took the puck in the mouth, got a bunch of stitches in the first period, and Sidora's back now with not only a full face shield, but it comes right down over his chin. Boy, he looks pretty swollen underneath there too, Gary. And here is the shot with Leclaire in front. Big blast from the point by Odeline, and Leclaire got to the rebound, but you can see because he was tied up, he couldn't get it up and over Kelly Rudy. Here to see Leclaire. Now he's got position on Charlie Huddy. All Leclaire is doing is holding Charlie Huddy out. Once a defenseman allows a forward to get position on him, and in Leclaire's place, it's big position at 212. You don't move him.
We were noting during that first intermission, clearly a lot of rebounds sitting out there on Kelly Rudy. So Montreal noticing that obviously in the first. They're going to try and get that puck in there as often as they can now. It's, I think, not a matter of finesse for them. Much like Los Angeles, gun it in, you're going to get some extra chances with the looks of it.
Yeah, the Canadiens know that there are going to be rebounds, and in the same sense, Patrick Waugh doesn't give up many rebounds, and he is so hot, the Kings have to drive the net just as much. They're not going to get as many rebounds and as many chances, but still, you can put some of them away when they do show up.
Do the same thing for different reasons. Brunet coming, Waters all over it, takes him out of the play. Artie McSorley out through center, knocked down by Guy Carbonneau. Carbonneau sends it in wide. Just underway here in the second period. Waters up for Robitaille. Robitaille pinned up by Brunet. Gary Curry lost it. Brunet centered. Guy Carbonneau, and Yari Curry tipped it away before he could get the shot off. Great chance, though. Marty McSorley comes away with the puck. Robitaille missed. Shuchuk, who is coming through center. Played back in by Brisebois. Kelly Rudy trying to stop it, did not. Damphouse's shot deflected by Waters in front. Waters gets it up to Robitaille. Kings want to change. They dump it in. Patrick Waugh knocks it away. Patrick Waugh, the 5th all-time leader in wins for goaltenders in playoff history, working up to number 4 here in the Stanley Cup Finals this year. Down the middle, shot. Kelly Rudy knocked it away. Rudy up, out of the zone. Reichel taken by Brisebois. Brisebois sends it right back in. Stephane Lebeau moved over, couldn't get to it. Desjardins, he whips it in around the boards, dumping and chasing. Bellows back to get it. Gretzky was there as Bellows was taken out of the play. Tomas Sandstrom lost that one to the corner. Not out of the zone, held in. Rob Blake. Blake running it in. Shot and a save made by Waugh. Back Thomas Sandstrom. In the corner, lost it. Bellows 2-on-1 with Damphousse. Damphousse coming in the middle. Zhitnik. Damphousse save made. Kelly Rudy right off the ice on that shot. But it dropped right down on the skates, and he hung on.
Well, Cap Raider talked about adjustments. The LA Kings haven't made them yet because they give up a 2-on-1, and it's a dangerous 2-on-1. You've got the leading point getter on the left side on the 2-on-1, and you've got the leading goal scorer, Brian Bellows, on the other side on the 2-on-1. Rob Blake went in deep. Now, he had a good scoring chance here. Watch this. It was the old let the puck go, don't even touch it, and go around the guy to get a scoring chance. But when Rob Blake is in that deep, connect the dots forward, somebody's got to get back. And Warren Reichel, number 10, cruised right into the slot and right into the crease just about. And here came Vincent Damphousse and Brian Bellows. Damphousse was his big shot. Vincent Damphousse has led teams in scoring for the last 3 years. Different teams. Led Montreal this year, Edmonton last year, and Toronto the year before.
Kelly Rudy has to make another save. Matthew Snyder had the shot from the point that time. Snyder able to hold it in. Centering pass is blocked straight up in the air to center ice. Near side for Donnelly. Donnelly with Sador trailing. Donnelly shot. Patrick Waugh hangs on. Waugh right now is just, as Bill said, unconscious. He's having a great playoff. All kinds of numbers he's putting up. 225 career wins, 28th all-time among goaltenders and wins, and he right now sees it like the old proverbial beach ball out there.
You know, he really saw his young defense come together in front of him the last couple of months in the season. The LA Kings, it's the same thing with Zhitnik and Sador. Rob Blake has had a few years, so he's still young at 23, but came together. But Patrick Waugh saw Kevin Haller, who's not in uniform tonight, come into his own, and Matt Schneider, guys like that. And two 22-year-olds and two 23-year-olds in the Montreal defense for the series against the New York Islanders. That's young.
3 Vezina trophies for Patrick Waugh. Conn Smythe as well. Granato moving in. Granato behind the net. Tony Granato poke checked away. Donnelly got it. A buzz behind the net. Corey Millen looking in front for Granato. He was tied up, so he just brought it out himself. Poke checked away. Granato couldn't get it from Oderline, and Oderline gets it out of the zone. This line of Waterbugs gives the opposition a lot of problems. The Los Angeles Kings love to use them to aggravate.
Well, every series, the coach pinpoints guys on the other team that he wants his team to really go after physically. And I could swear that Warren Reichel, number 10 for the Kings, is one of them. When Brian Bellows is putting that much damage and that big a hurt on Warren Reichel, you got to know that there's a plan there. That's all there is to it. And obviously that is part of the game plan that a coach will not reveal. He's not going to tell the world who he's targeting. But it started from the first shift. The Montreal Canadiens have given Warren Reichel a real tough ride, and they have to be hoping for retaliation.
What a story he is. 26 years old, but he's playing in really his first full season in the National Hockey League. Savard trying to break. Savard back out on the ice, near side, tip to Hill. Sean Hill shot wide. He really watches that one as McSorley plays it around, and off we go to the races. Will be brought in a 2-on-2. Canadiens getting back in a hurry. Yari Curry went by. Shot. Robitaille. Save made wide. Rebound comes to Savard. That one developed in a hurry. Brunet brings it in. Benoit Brunet with Savard. Canadiens change it up. Dumped in. Kelly Rudy jumping up for that one and decides to hang on with a couple of Montreal Canadiens moving in. There's Denny Savard.
And, you know, Denny Savard has had that bad foot now for a few weeks. And he let the doctor look at it again this week and x-ray it. You know what he said? I told the doctor to fax me the results of the x-rays in 3 weeks. I don't want to know if it's busted. Maybe he went in for a little injection, but as Al Morganti pointed out, he left in a lot of pain. But he's waited a long time and had some tremendous years, most of them with the Chicago Blackhawks, as a National Hockey League force. When you talked about Wayne Gretzky in the mid-'80s, you talked about Steve Yzerman, and you also talked about Denny Savard. Mario Lemieux was on the way up, but Denny was always one of the big three.
7 finals, no cup. This is the 7th for him. Kurt Muller out to take the face-off here. We've tried to watch for these matchups. Shot by Lehman. Wow. That one whipped by. It did not touch anybody, according to Andy Van Hellemond. He's pointing for the face-off to come out to center ice. Muller's arguing that it was deflected by Kelly Rudy, but
look how low here, Gary, Pat Conacher was on that face-off against Kirk Muller, and you got to know that Kirk Muller and Conacher know one another because they played against each other in junior hockey. Kirk Muller told me this morning that his team had already talked to the officials about watching how low Millen and Conacher are in the face-off. They're so short at 5'7", and they get so low. Kirk Muller is afraid because he likes to take the stick. Watch this. See how he gets in and jabs? Well, he got Gauthier with the stick. He's afraid of getting Conacher and Millen with the stick and cutting them and being ejected because they're so low in the stands.
Kirk Muller, one of the great face-off men of the game. Pat Conacher, his former teammate. They used to practice taking face-offs together when they played for the New Jersey Devils. Zhitnik chasing it down at his own end. Muller was up, but he got it by him up the center ice. Brisebois comes back to get it. 4 minutes into the second period. Game tied at 1-1. Robitaille the power play goal. Ronan the other. Looking to the middle. Brisebois tipped. Deflected. Still loose. Side of the net. Nobody can find it. Sandstrom lost it. Lehman got it. Lehman tried to get it in front to Leclerc. Couldn't. Cleared back out to Gretzky. Wayne Gretzky coming at center. Gretzky, Sandstrom, and Zhitnik are up. Intercepted momentarily. Leclerc comes back in his own zone. Nice move by John Leclerc. Up for Lehman. Lehman with Muller. Lehman shot! Deflected by Blake. And cleared out of the zone. I tell you, this game, this series, when things open up, it's like snap your fingers and it happens.
Well, Montreal's bringing the attack, that's for sure, and they're getting their defense up on the play, like Cap Raider said. That surprises L.A.
All right, Budweiser Stanley Cup summary. Canadiens, you see their record at home, undefeated this year in the playoffs. Kings players, 17 cup rings. Canadiens own 3. Patrick Roy on top. Goaltenders in the playoffs. 12 wins, 2-1-5. 7-12 in overtime. Montreal.
Now the Montreal Canadiens have put together some attack here early in the second period. Patrice Brisebois deflected it. Watch Kelly Rudy. He doesn't know where it is. It's behind his right pad. And we couldn't pick it up because of the black puck in the dark pad. But finally, John Leclerc picked it up and just got surrounded by 4 LA Kings back in deep.
Kelly Rudy just held his position on that. Shot by Odeline. Rudy knocks it away to the side. This time, Damphousse over to get it. Granado tried to get it out. Schneider brought it back in. The puck had come outside the line, even though Schneider hadn't, and he reached behind him and pulled it in. I want to mention certainly our officials. Andy Van Hellemond working. He's been in the league since '72. More games officiated than anyone in the history of the National Hockey League, and this is his 17th consecutive Stanley Cup final. Great recognition, and we've got linesmen tonight, Gauthier and Ray Scafanello. Well, Gauthier wasn't supposed to be out here.
Right, he was a surprise addition to the crew because Wayne Bonney suffered an eye injury, got hit in the eye with a tennis ball playing ball with his daughter, of all things, a few days ago, and he was going to rep tonight, but he woke up this morning and his eyelid had kind of stuck his eye shut. When he opened his eye, it did more damage to the retina, so he is out and Gauthier is in.
They had to call for another linesman tonight to be the backup in this game. Donnelly can't play it. Now he does play it. Donnelly brings it in. Donnelly looking in the middle. And he goes around the net, and there goes the net. Granado got driven in, and a penalty coming up here. Tony Granado and Matthew Snyder got tied up. They both ended up going into Patrick Roy, and Granado's going to be called for running the goaltender. Wow. Andy Van Hellemond is saying Granado did it on his own, even though he had a Montreal Canadien with him. Van Hellemond says Granado did not make the effort to avoid the goaltender that you must do, and he's going.
That's LA hockey. Drive the net. It looked like Granado was perhaps taken down on the play, but Andy Van Hellemond ruled that Granado went for Patrick Roy. Donnelly's got great speed. Number 11 for LA went wide. Oh, man. Gosh, I don't know if you could read intent into that play because it looked like Tony Granado was going down right here before he could even pull out of the skid.
Goaltenders are supposed to be well protected in the National Hockey League, and that one was. So the power play opportunity comes here in the interference call to Granado at 5:08. Third chance for the Canadiens of the power play. They have not converted on their first 2 opportunities now, and Montreal 11 for 62 in the playoffs this season. Desjardins dropped it off, came right back to him. Desjardins brought it in. McSorley just drives it out. Power play Montreal during the regular season ended up 15th overall in the league and struggled all season long. They tried to find someone to headman this operation. Damphousse poked away Gretzky, and Brisebois saves the bacon. Taken by Damphousse over to Muller. Kurt Muller dropped it off to Bellows. Bellows looking in the middle for Damphousse. Damphousse tipped away to the point. Brisebois shooting side. Save and covered by Kelly Rudy. Look at the pile up in front of the net. Kurt Muller's underneath all that mess.
But Patrice Brisebois had so much time to tee this up. When Jari Kurri went over to the other side to get the puck, Wayne Gretzky went to that side too. And in keeping with the philosophy, especially Gretzky and Kurri, they want to attack. So watch this. As Muller goes over the line, Marty McSorley loses his footing. There's number 17 going to the corner. Jari Kurri, and Wayne Gretzky was on the same side, but the puck went right back to Brisebois. Muller was in front. Damphousse was there for a rebound, but I think Kelly Rudy had a decent peek at that.
Kelly Rudy did not allow the rebound that time, and Marty McSorley was able to knock him away. We mentioned how Los Angeles piled up the penalties during the season. They were 21st in the league in penalty minutes. The other end, you've got Montreal Canadiens who try desperately to stay away from penalties. They want to play even strength hockey. So another contrast. Canadiens want to play even strength, and the specialty teams of the Los Angeles Kings get tons of work.
Watch how low Pat Conacher of the Kings gets on this draw. He's just a little anyway, and he gets way down.
Power play underway here for Montreal. Right around by Huddy. Held in. Desjardins got it up along the boards to Bellows. Back for Damphousse. Damphousse reversing direction on McSorley. Drops it off. They get the power play set up. Desjardins and Brisebois. Desjardins hit. Muller. Turn. Shot. Save. Rudy. Rebound on his back. It's underneath him. Kelly Rudy is known as an unorthodox goaltender, and no more unorthodox than what you've seen thus far in Game 1.
He's on that one knee so much, as John Davidson pointed out before the game. Both Kelly Rudy and Patrick Waugh go down, but differently. Patrick Waugh goes down symmetrically. Both pads up to the side. Kelly Rudy is on one knee there. Finally decided to get onto his back because that's where it was. And hanging back at his net, too, until the shot was coming. See, the one knee goes down first. The stick is really on his paddle in front of him, unlike Patrick Waugh, who keeps the blade on the ice in front of him. But whatever it takes. Here's a guy that at 16 years of age spent 15 minutes one day because he's been cut from just about every team he had tried out for. 15 minutes deciding whether or not to continue the sport of hockey. He decided at the end of 15 minutes to continue, and he looks back and says that was the biggest decision he ever made and the most important. And obviously it's worked pretty good.
His 80th playoff game. Kelly Rudy's 35 of 42 in the playoffs with a 3.32 goals against in his career. Power play still underway, but the Los Angeles Kings able to clear it out. 1 minute left to go on the Los Angeles penalty. Game tied at 1. We are 6.5 minutes into the second period here at the Forum in Game 1 of the Stanley Cup Finals. Muller near side for Damtis. Rolls in wide. Waters back to get it. Tipped and covered up. Kelly Rudy didn't like the fact there were sticks moving in, and Muller goes at it now with veteran Dave Taylor.
Right. It was Brian Bellows that delivered the little chop to Kelly Rudy. And somebody was going to go after Bellows, and Muller tried to head him off the pass. Boy, you talk about grizzled veteran. Was that term made for Dave Taylor? 37 years old, his 17th year in the National Hockey League, his first trip to the finals, his first year getting past the second round. Boy, oh boy, what a story. And you know something, Gary? He's never been a great skater. He's never been in that great a shape in the offseason. He was kind of flabby during the middle part of his career. He doesn't have a great shot. All he has done has been inspiration for every guy that's a borderline athlete that thinks he can make it if he works hard, because Dave Taylor has had a tremendous career, only being a great competitor.
There you see the numbers for him in the playoffs. Maybe the most incredible thing about Dave Taylor, he's an anomaly now, a dinosaur in this world of sports. All his seasons in one uniform, Los Angeles Kings. It just doesn't happen in 16 years.
Well, it was yellow and purple for a lot of years. The same organization.
Had the same name on it, I guess. Held on to behind the net by Kelly Rudy. 36 left on the Montreal power play. Hill could not hold it in. Gilbert Dion coming back, waiting for the Canadiens to get onside. Gary Curry was all over. Run back in by Matthew Schneider offside. Benoit Brunet moved in ahead of him. And 26 seconds remaining on the power play chance. There were matching minors, by the way. Taylor and Muller both have gone for roughing at 6:23 on that matter behind the net.
Wayne Gretzky today spoke about how when people doubt him, it pushes him to prove them wrong. He said at the age 10, he was told he was too small. At 17, he was too slow. When he got to Edmonton, they said he's not a great player until he wins the Stanley Cup. And when he got to L.A. for the first few years, everybody said, well, you haven't done anything yet. Every time Wayne Gretzky heard somebody say something negative about him, it pushed him to achieve.
Playoff-wise, like the regular season, Gretzky on top of points, goals, assists, all the numbers. He holds the records in National Hockey League playoff history. Led playoff scoring 5 separate seasons. In the corner, McSorley jamming hard. Puck freed up. Dion gets it back to the point. 2 seconds left in the power play. Power play is over. Back to even strength. Schneider the shot. Hit the post. Matthew Schneider hit the post. Schneider again. Kelly Rudy can't find it. Pushed back to him. Covered up. Good play. Wow.
Good play by Charlie Huddy. He was without a stick. All you can do when you're without a stick, if you're a defenseman, stay right in front of the net. At least you can help there. And Charlie Huddy did help in a big way.
Out here, Los Angeles, Montreal tied at 1-1, but boy, there's been some jamming going on in the corners. The bodies were playing. Listen to this.
And you can see Charlie Huddy's stick right there in the corner lying on the ice, and here is Huddy in front now without it. As Benoit Brunet moved in front, Kelly Rudy makes a save finally, but Huddy's doing the smart thing. You can be most effective by staying in front. At least you can engage somebody in kind of a hand-to-hand combat type of thing, but Huddy just got to one knee and scooped the puck to Kelly Rudy. Smart play.
Couple of matching minors are going up on the board here, as Andy Van Hellemond obviously aware that the roughness especially in front of the net, is really picking up at this point in time. Muller and Lyle Odeline have gone for Montreal. Taylor and McSorley are both in the box now. Muller and Taylor already have been there. It's going to be unsportsmanlike conduct penalties that are picked up here on the Magic Miners.
Barry Melrose challenges all of his players to succeed. Jacques Demers has a way of motivating his players by making them feel important. When you feel important, you play important. Barry Melrose doesn't cut his kids any slack. Even the 19-year-olds at the beginning of the year, he said, I don't care if you made a mistake. You're in the NHL. Play like an NHLer.
4-on-4 now. Brisebois, and he missed that one as it went wide. Rebounded deep to center ice. Robitaille able to knock it away. Played back by LeBeau. Robitaille has scored the Los Angeles goal in this game. He got it at 3:03 of the first. Ed Ronan at 18:09 on a puck that deflected in off Gretzky's stick. That is now an unassisted goal. They had given assists out on that earlier, but clearly Gretzky's the one who knocked it in. Played in by LeBeau. Back to Brisebois. Brisebois looking. 4-on-4 situation. His shot. Rudy reached out and knocked it away. Matthew Schneider. His was blocked as it hit LeBeau. LeBeau goes to the corner for it. Knocked away from him. Played back by Charlie Huddy. Huddy gets it behind the net for Daryl Sador. Sador back up. Yari Curry. Curry pinned up by Schneider. Looking back to play it himself to Kelly Rudy, who deflected it behind the net. Yari Curry leading the rush here. Minute 6 in the 4-on-4. Curry in. Leclerc knocked it away. DiPietro will play it. Oh, DiPietro's pass. There's Schneider on the reverse. Forces him to go back. Gretzky out there. Near side. Bad pass. Rob Blake. Blake shot saved by Waugh. Played by Schneider again. Blake again blocking it. Blake kicked it in front. Blake running it to the middle. Tried to get the shot off, but couldn't. Here comes DiPietro. Leclerc ahead. Leclerc's got room. Leclerc shot. Missed it short side. May have got the blocker on it. Kelly Rudy. DiPietro able to hold it in. Leclerc again back. Leclerc wants a wraparound. Tied up from behind by Zhitnik. Tries the side of the net. Covered up by Kelly Rudy. Boy, I'm telling you, I'm smiling because Kelly Rudy, I'm sure when he goes back and looks at the tape of this game, especially if they win, is going to be smiling. You talk about plays that aren't pretty being made around the net. It's happening to him right now.
A little bit of it has been the lookout defense. Like, look out, Kelly, here they come again. You can see Alexei Zhitnik, number 2 of the Kings here, trying to tie up John Leclerc. And Zhitnik gives away about 25 pounds to Leclerc. He cut him off pretty well, though, and Zhitnik, for his size, will play the body. 178 pounds against 212 pounds. Here's that bad pass you were talking about, Gary. It was only bad because it was too slow. It didn't get there in time. Matt Schneider just lofted an easy one, and Rob Blake read it perfectly. As soon as he saw that it was a slow pass, he knew he had time to get in front and cut it.
Bowling Green University. Rob Blake, 23 years old. What a player he has turned into. One of the reasons Paul Coffey is no longer with this team and he made the deal with Detroit. Sador is another reason. Zhitnik is another. They had room to make that deal. And Coffey was moved for more defense. Rob Blake the shot. Waugh the save. Just holding the short side post. Rebound picked up by Muller. Still 4-on-4. Muller trying to move in. Nice play by Zhitnik. Muller back to get it. Zhitnik bangs him in the back of the head. Muller is going to be black and blue before this one is over. They're after him tonight. Tied up. Muller pushed it away from Yari Curry. Spun around on the hook. Tried to get it back. Leclerc's been hit in the face. He's trying to get to the bench. Leclerc going very slowly to the bench on the far side. Played by Gretzky. Gretzky into McSorley. Marty McSorley will dump it in. Back to get it. Desjardins. Gretzky's right there with it. Kicked away. Leclerc lost it. Played up, and it'll be brought out Canadiens. Lehman's got it. 10:20 to go, second period. Lehman shot blocked into the corner by Sador. Played around, but not out of the zone. Held in by Lehman. The down boost knocked away by Sador. That ends up over the glass, and we'll get the whistle on it.
Well, we've seen that matchup that we talked about, Gary. Muller against Wayne Gretzky, but we haven't seen it with regularity. And when Kurt Muller is out there, he doesn't really try to check Wayne Gretzky. He just plays it straight away. And this is going to be frustrating for Wayne Gretzky. Toronto was the wrong team for Wayne to face because they don't give you any room. They hang on you, they hook you, they hold you. And look at this. Here comes one Montreal stick. That's Gary Lehman. And when the puck finally goes into the corner, watch Lehman again. Hooks Gretzky, hooks him back, and he'll get hit behind the net, too.
Everybody be aware.
Even Stéphane Lebeau, number 47. Everybody takes a piece of Wayne Gretzky, and that makes for a long series. How much energy does Wayne have? He hopes he has enough, but Montreal is trying to do what Toronto did.
10-12 left to go here in the second. Game tied at 1-1. Stéphane Lebeau out to take the draw for the Canadiens. Kicked away to the middle. Danfus couldn't get the shot off as Donnelly was there. Back for it, Charlie Huddy. Huddy bangs it off the glass, but it came right back to him. Huddy trying to get it out, can't. LeClaire in the middle for Danfus, intercepted. Millen was there to knock it away. Here's a 3-on-2. Nope, Danfus on the back-checking job, cleared it in. Bellows, though, had not gotten out of the zone. Mike Donnelly on the near side. Donnelly. Corey Millen knocked away by Matthew Schneider. Good defensive play at center. Granado brings it in. Granado with Millen. He can haul down Danfus. Penalty coming up. Granado shot blocked. Hit Waugh! That shot ended up in on Patrick Waugh on the delayed penalty. And another power play coming up for the Los Angeles Kings. Danfus is going.
It was a race to a loose puck, and this is the speed line, the All-American line for the LA Kings. All-American-born players. Tony Granado jumped at the puck, and Vincent Danfus pulled him down. And then, I'm not sure that didn't go off the post after he broke up the play. But Danfus recovered to get into position. Here's Granado now. There's a loose puck. He's racing for it, and Aaron Danfus taking him down. Now Corey Millen goes over to the side and takes the puck and took a shot at it. It went off the post. Here it is. Off Danfus.
Save Waugh.
One for you.
These glasses, these new glasses are working really good here. Danfus goes on the slashing call at 10:23. Third power play opportunity now for the Los Angeles Kings, who scored on their first power play chance of the game when Robitaille came away with a power play goal. They've got the opportunity to get the lead back right here. Blake the shot, deflected off J.J. Daniel. Jitnik trying to hold it in, cannot. He'll be backed up by Blake as Ben Brunet was after. Benoit Brunet and Blake. Brunet, great hustle in the corner on it, trying to kill it off. Guy Carbonneau, Brunet, Desjardins, and J.J. Daniel, the penalty killers. Robitaille dug it out in his own end. Robitaille right through the crease. Really, really let it go to Jitnik. And the young defenseman brings it up in the corner. There's Daniel. Daniel up. Robitaille and Blake were both there. That came outside the zone as Blake gloved it and then brought it back in. Blake doesn't like the fact J.J. Daniel shot it back at him after the whistle had blown. Says something to him.
You know, a lot of people speculated about the advantage of the layoff. Montreal was the same deal as before the New York Islanders. They had a week off. And for the LA Kings, it was kind of similar for them. Bob Blake and the LA Kings won a 7th game on the road the way the New York Islanders did before they played the Montreal Canadiens. But the difference for Blake and the LA Kings, and it's a huge difference, they had 2 days off. The New York Islanders had 1 day off. Mentally, it was a problem. Physically, you can rebound, but they didn't leave that series behind, a 7-game series against the Pittsburgh Penguins. And the LA Kings would have preferred 3 days off, but at least 2 is adequate. 1 is not.
That puck ends up over in the Montreal bench with 9:02 left to go. Fans applauding all Wrigley Field as they threw it back out. Barry Melrose, what a job he has done behind the bench. He's got an opportunity to become only the 15th first-year coach in National Hockey League history to win the Stanley Cup in his first year. It just doesn't happen very often, understandably so, but he has done a job with this Los Angeles Kings team. He has made them a real powerhouse, very physical force on the ice. Gretzky's got it, 1:16 on the LA power play. Bad pass again by Gretzky. Good play, Kirk Muller. Blake hits him to the boards and hard. Played by Lehman. Lehman short-handed. Runs it in on Kelly Rudy. Goes diving in looking for the puck. Rudy dropped it off for Gretzky. Wayne's not had a good first period here. Goal went in off his stick, which wasn't a bad play. And setting up that power play on that pass. The turnover, and they do it again. This time Blake couldn't hang on. Brunet coming too far out in front of him. Jitnik was there, takes him to the boards. His other line, moving in. Brunet short-handed. Brunet got Blake down. He shot. Kelly Rudy came up. Jitnik was there to block it. Near side for Robitaille. 36 on the power play. Kings with the advantage. Robitaille in. He just plain old lost that one. Guy Carbonneau's got it by Robitaille. Short-handed. Carbonneau brings it up. Carbonneau 3-on-3. Drops it. Brunet again. Shot. That's deflected by Sador. Went over the goal. Puck in the corner. Carbonneau had it momentarily. Lost it to Yari Curry. Still 18 left in the Kings power play. Sador drops it. Granado trying to cut. Granado couldn't get it over the line. Cut down on the angle. And that lane wasn't open anymore. Guy Carbonneau again behind the net. Down to 6 on the power play for Los Angeles. Yari Curry holds it in. Curry behind the net to Robitaille. Back for Granado. And the penalty is over. They killed it off. Los Angeles 1 for 3. Yari Curry drops it. Robitaille. Shot! Wow! The save! Actually booed him part of this past season.
Well, they cheered this save. Off the stick of Matt Schneider, headed for the top corner on the short side. Now, Patrick Waugh's glove is underrated. I mean, he does so many things well.
That one did not get through, and the shot taken by Huddy. J.J. Daniel got it up for even strength here. Game's tied at 1-1. Both goals came in the first period. Sean Hill leading the rush. Hill brings it in. Back for Bellows. Bellows top of the circle shot. Deflected wide. Kelly Rudy in position, but it went off Danfus. Danfus didn't get all of it. Danfus was open momentarily. Sean Hill wide off Sador. Played by Warren Reichel. Reichel is dumping to the near side. Reichel up in front of the play. Sador the shot. Waugh came out and made the save. Daniel tipped it away. McSorley shot. Waugh the save again. Rebound. Reichel fanned on it. Pat Conacher shot. Not in on goal. Daniel blocked it. Comes back to the circle. This is the Kings kind of game right here. Waters. He winds up. LeBeau went down and blocked that one off his skate. Patrick Waugh in front of the net getting some help. J.J. Daniel just trying to clear everybody out in front along with Sean Hill to protect their goaltender as the Kings come a-charging.
The Kings are charging at that end, but watch this at the other end. If we stop it right here, what you're going to see is Sean Hill, defenseman attacking. Watch what he does. He comes all the way in. Now, we've talked about the LA Kings defenseman getting up on the play. Look at Sean Hill. He's all the way in deep, and he can be in deep because Brian Bellows, if we stop right here, you'll see now the switch. Bellows, who had been backing him up, goes in, and this is Hill going that way. That's a terrific cover-up by Brian Bellows to allow Sean Hill to get in deep. Right after that, the play went down to the other end. Here's what the Kings want to do. Get some traffic in front of Patrick Waugh. Block and jam. As I said in our open, there's nothing pretty about it. It's kind of crash-bang hockey when you get inside the hash marks. But that's the way the Kings play. Attack.
Won the Conn Smythe in 1986 at the age of 20. The youngest winner of the Conn Smythe, which goes to the MVP of the Stanley Cup playoffs. Third time Patrick Waugh has been in the playoffs. He won the first one in his rookie season. The last one, they lost in '89. He's got a 1-1 game going right here against the Kings right now. Waters chasing it down. Had Gilbert Dion trailing him in. Waters got it out over DiPietro's head. Back to Ed Ronan, credited with the only goal scored by Montreal. Robitaille has the one for the Kings in a power play. Both of those came in the first. Donnelly drops it back. 6:17 left to go here in the second period. Shots are even at 21-21. They've stayed even most of this game here. Dion flips it up, but it was a delayed offside call, and the faceoff will come back to center. While the Stanley Cup Finals are going on, the baseball season continues on ESPN tomorrow night. Major League Baseball. Our coverage 8:30 Eastern and 5:30 Pacific. You'll see a red-hot team in the Los Angeles Dodgers. They are moving up in the Western Division standings. They will take on the St. Louis Cardinals and Ozzie, and this game will be seen in the Los Angeles area. That's tomorrow night.
Watch Ed Ronan here with the Canadiens, number 31. He just went for Tim Waters, and you can see that he got his glove up high. Tim Waters has been punched in the face a lot lately, and he has stitches to prove it.
Counted up total stitches instead of total cups here. Would probably be in the hundreds. Jitnik dropped it off. Dion tried to center. DiPietro knocks it down. Back to Dion. Dion with Ronan in front of the net. This line has been effective in scoring opportunities here in this game for the Montreal Canadiens. Donnelly at his own blue line, backhanded it out, played by Breezebroad. Breezebroad blocked by Donnelly. Donnelly hooked it ahead, hit Desjardins. Donnelly got it back. Donnelly in, dropped it. Passed on the shot right there. He could have had Donnelly. Donnelly trying to center. Granato, a good job to hold it into him. Donnelly tied up along the boards up to DiPietro. Paul DiPietro. Wide side. Desjardins with Dion trailing. There's Dion. Trying to get it back. Granato. Nice read on the back check. Tony Granato was there. Corey Millen brings it in. Millen with Donnelly. Had the dump as the Kings wanted to change it up. 5:16 left, second period. Desjardins with it. Desjardins lost it. Near side. Conacher. Desjardins on him. Tomas Sandstrom out in front. Somehow that puck did not go in. Near side. Thomas Sandstrom. Boy, was that a chance. Shot deflected out deep. Desjardins got it. Dion over to Kurt Muller. Muller dumps it along the boards. Sador stands him up. Muller reaches back for it. Sador took it away. Daryl Sador gets it out. These defensemen of the Kings can get it going in a hurry in the transition game. Conacher tied up by Leclerc. Comes back to center. Sador. Sador drops it. Kings clear the zone. Sent in on Patrick Waugh's blocker. Deep rebound. Kings changing. Kurt Muller's got it. Muller in with Lyle Odeline trailing him, but he couldn't get it back to him. Gretzky clears it out. Gretzky looking ahead. Almost. Shuchuk couldn't get everyone right between the wickets that time. Gary Shuchuk circling. The player went down behind him. Poke checked away by Lehman, but not out. Robitaille the shot. Wild to save. Leclerc's got it as the game opens up here in the end again. Leclerc sends. Canadians coming over the boards.
A little bit of end-to-end, but boy, the Montreal Canadiens, to a degree, have gone into their cluster defense. A couple of times the Kings in the last two shifts across the blue line only had like 3 guys around them.
Shuchuk got another save made by Waugh. 3:58 to go in the second.
Well, the game plan may be for the LA Kings, if you have time, go high. Gary Shuchuk with this blast on Patrick Waugh. He makes him look so easy. He is the most efficient-looking goalie, too, playing anywhere in the world right now. Of course, there are only probably 3 or 4 guys still playing in the world, but
that's right.
That's the best word to describe Patrick Waugh's style. Besides stopping all the pucks, he is so efficient. He does not waste any energy any time.
But in June, those left playing are something very special. Tipped along the boards, Marty McSorley. Los Angeles Kings hold it in. Robitaille, Waugh holding that post. Robitaille dumped it behind the net. J.J. Daniel putting the hit on back there. Taylor, Dave Taylor, the veteran out there with Donnelly and Yari Curry on this line. Taylor hit by Sean Hill. Robitaille wrap around, no shot. Robitaille still has it. Shot, Waugh the save. Rebound, flip to the boards. Down over. McSorley stepped up but couldn't get it.
Boy, Robitaille is getting his chances. You know, when a guy is in a slump, and by Robitaille's standards, after 63 goals in the regular season, he has not produced in the playoffs. First thing you look to is, am I still getting the chances? Robitaille's had his chances, and he has the Kings' only goal here.
He has good chances. Waters back to get it. McSorley tips it out of the zone. Played by Desjardins. Desjardins, McSorley again to Yari Curry. Down to 3 minutes left to go. Second period. Game tied at 1. Mike Donnelly down the middle. Donnelly poked away. Brisebois. Guy Carbonneau high off the glass, not out. Rob Blake, big shot. In. Blake. Saved by Waugh. Knocked it loose behind the net. Taken away. Kings. Blake. Save. Waugh had trouble with that one. Granado's got it. Here goes this line again. Corey Millen. Granado. Millen the shot. Covered up. Penalty coming up. This line is so quick.
Absolutely.
You just can't stop it.
And Gary, this is the kind of pressure that we talked about in our open. This inside the hash marks. Wow, is Corey Millen ever getting a rough ride from Eric Desjardins? What a huge difference in size. Corey Millen's 5'7", and Eric Desjardins is 6'2". But this is the kind of swarming attack with the quickness that Millen and Donnelly and Granado can really put on inside the hash marks. This play started with Rob Blake walking into the slot again. Man, I don't know what that hit, but it looked like it had some space. Once it got behind the net, the All-American line went to work. Look at Tony Granado step out. A great drive to the net out of the corner, and Patrice Brisebois had to take him down. A lot of people say about the Montreal team, take the body on their defense, hit their defense, because they're not very big. The other school of thought is, if you are quick, you can give them trouble. And all year long, the Montreal defense had trouble with quick teams, not teams that tried to hit them.
Well, they will not back down from the hits. The physical play of the Montreal team is more than willing to play that game. Los Angeles now mounting the shots up a bit here. The numbers in that department certainly favor their kind of game, but we have tied here at 1-1 with 2:37 remaining to go. The extra penalty here is going to be picked up by the Canadiens. Corey Millen has gone into the penalty box. Brisebois.
Right.
And who's beat Bellows?
It's Desjardins, because it was Desjardins and Millen that had locked up behind the net, but it was Brisebois on the takedown.
So it'll be another power play opportunity here for the Los Angeles Kings. They have scored 1 out of 3 in the power play in this game. Gretzky on the faceoff. Guy Carbonneau won it behind the net, but the Kings may be able to hold it in. Robitaille dives. Good play. Gretzky the shot. Hit the post. Rebound. Shipnick shot. That one hit Waugh. Gretzky back to get it. Gretzky banged that one off the near side post. Rob Blake, is he getting chances in front? Waugh score! Right through Waugh's legs. Robitaille's got 2. And it's 2-1 Los Angeles.
Great puck movement by the Kings. A couple of guys went to Gretzky, so he dished off to Rob Blake. What kind of game is Rob Blake having? Man, is he terrific in this one so far. When Wayne Gretzky dropped it off at the points to Blake, Blake took it, beat a guy out high, and there's Robitaille dead center just waiting. Rob Blake, instead of shooting, dished it to Robitaille. That's a hard play for Patrick Waugh, Gary. When the play goes that quickly to the side and the shot is released that quickly, look at this, the play I was talking about by Rob Blake. What a play to get around Odeline, then the pass to Robitaille. You simply don't have time as a goalie to get over and get square to the shot. But Rob Blake made that baby happen, and so did Wayne Gretzky.
So the man who had not been heard from in much of the playoffs this season is being heard from tonight. Luc Robitaille has scored his second goal, both of them on the power play, and the Kings lead it 2-1. Pat Conacher dumps it around the net. 2:05 left to go here in the second period. So the Kings for the second time the lead. Honey, the shot deflected by Conacher wide. Pat Conacher with it. Kings now outworking the Montreal Canadiens. Muller got it out of the zone, but Marty McSorley plays it at center. As Los Angeles starts to pile up the offensive chances along with the shots here. 31 shots on goal. 31-21. Kings with the advantage there and the 2-1 edge on the board. J.J. Daniel back to get it. Daniel up with Leclerc. Leclerc spinning around. Yari Curry to Lehman. Lehman tried to tip it ahead. Can't get it by McSorley. Back into the zone. Robitaille giving chase, and that's going to go into the seats. Did it deflect off anything or anybody?
I don't think so. Robitaille, well, maybe it did, but no, it's a penalty. Gerard Gauthier, the linesman, was signaling over, and Luc Robitaille was trying to help him with his own signal.
Another power play for the Kings.
Pop that gum, Barry. So this happened at the same end as Kelly Rudy picked up his, and did it slip up? Well, a little bit on Patrick Waugh's stick, but Raw was trying to clear it high. Look at the follow-through. I mean, the follow-through determines how high you shoot a puck, and Patrick Waugh followed through with his stick right to the ceiling on that one. And you know what? He doesn't have good control, Gary, because he's not a real good shooter.
So both goaltenders had delay of game calls.
Exactly. The stick that Patrick Waugh is using is now 16 games old. He has used this hockey stick, this goalie stick, for every game in the playoffs, and you can see that he's got a pretty good curve on it, but he doesn't handle the puck that often. That's one of the reasons he's able to use this stick for 16 games. If you're out there shooting and getting behind the net and doing a little bit of stick handling, sooner or later you're going to get a jam and it's going to break.
18:33, the delay of game call on Patrick Waugh. Right back on the power play now. Leclerc will serve the penalty, and now we get a power play here as there's a minute 55 remaining here on the call. Brought up by Guy Carbonneau. Carbonneau is Zhitnik. Carbonneau, Zhitnik plays him to the boards. He is playing some great hockey. Alexei Zhitnik put on a show for the Los Angeles Kings this year. Back for Robitaille. Robitaille in. Power play Los Angeles. They've already scored 2 power play goals. Robitaille has them both. Wayne Gretzky. Gretzky looking cross ice. They had Blake cutting. Pass was deflected behind him. Lyle Oderline brings it out. Tomas Sandstrom on him. Cleared into the corner. Zhitnik will go back to get it. Zhitnik, 20 years old, out of Ukraine. Played for the Soviet Red Army team for a year. Sokol Kiev for a year in the Soviet Elite League. Gretzky tried to drop it off. Leclerc was there to knock it away. They've got a 2-on-1 coming. Muller. Leclerc knocked down. Penalty coming up on Los Angeles. Muller in the corner. Zhitnik takes him away. That'll be touched up by Gretzky. That will get the whistle, and that will cost Los Angeles a minute and 1 second worth of power play time.
Well, Wayne Gretzky saw the play blowing by him, and he really didn't have much of a choice. When this play was finally blown down, Wayne just put his head down and started skating for the penalty box. He wasn't going to argue it. So he copped the puck up here in the offensive zone because the Canadiens pinched up, and as the play was going by him, he was the last guy on that side, so he pulled down Gary Lehman. You see him looking across. Yep, he caught you, Wayne.
And not going to argue about that one. So Gretzky goes. He doesn't spend a lot of time in the penalty box. During the season, he only had 32 penalty minutes. Coming up, our second intermission. And have a close-up look. Brian Bellows, who has found new life in Montreal. We were just talking about Alexei Zhitnik, that young defenseman. All coming up. 27.7 seconds. That's what's remaining here in the second period. Gary Thorne, Bill Clement, Tom Mees, Elmore Gandy. Our great crew bringing you the Stanley Cup Finals. We'll carry them all for you right here on ESPN. Muller behind the net. Yari Curry back to get it. Damphus has it. 4-on-4. Hill couldn't play it. He came outside the zone. He dumped it in. Canadiens have to clear the zone here. Los Angeles leading by a score of 2-1. Their second goal picked up by Robitaille at 17:41. Blake and Gretzky had the assists on it. Desjardins over to Muller. Muller with only a second left to go. Charlie Huddy takes it to the corner, and the Los Angeles Kings, with Robitaille's 2 goals, have got a 2-1 lead.
Well, we talked about special teams, so key for the Kings' success. Montreal's power play cold, the LA Kings with a couple of power play goals, and Patrick Waugh has a problem if he's going to have to face power play after power play.
Los Angeles trying to become the only team this season in the playoffs to defeat the Montreal Canadiens here at the Forum, and right now they've got the 2-1 lead after 2. John?
All right, Gary and Bill, thanks a lot. Los Angeles Kings with the lead. The third period still to come from the Forum here in Game 1 of the Stanley Cup Finals. Between the second and third periods, we'll hear from hockey's two wise men as they look back at that second period, and Brian Bellows as well. We'll take a closer look at the veteran of the Montreal Canadiens looking for a Stanley Cup title. Meanwhile, Luc Robitaille, he is certainly blasted out over the last few games. His second goal of the night is the reason L.A. has the lead. Welcome back, and as promised, the two wise men of hockey, John Davidson and Jim Schoenfeld, and we will have them take a look back at the second period. And the guy we want to start with is Luc Robitaille, because he's taken a lot of knocks over the last series against Toronto, but he's finding the net.
Well, he's a power play guy for sure. He's got 8 goals in the playoffs. That's now 4 of them on the power play. He's a player that doesn't need a lot of space when he's in the offensive zone, but the trouble he has is getting it chugging up and down the ice a few times, John. When you think about Luc Robitaille, you have to think about a player that makes things happen in the offensive zone. Earlier in the period, he didn't seem to be getting too much going at all. Loses the puck, loses his stick, stands still quite a bit, but give him a chance to get going offensively. Now, Tony Granato has drawn the 2 penalties which have led to power play goals. Robitaille has great hands. It's not necessarily how hard you shoot the puck. It's get the puck on goal. Blake makes a great play, draws 3 Montreal players to him, dumps it off to Robitaille. He scores. You see the go-ahead goal. The second half of the period, I thought Los Angeles played well. The first half of the period, it was Kelly Hrudey doing his thing, making sure that all those shots he had to deal with, he held on to them, face-off after face-off after face-off. Finally, the Kings got it going.
2-1 is the score. Luc Robitaille with both of those goals. Now, Brian Bellows is a veteran for the Montreal Canadiens who's looking to win his first Stanley Cup in a city that owns the Stanley Cup. This is their 35th appearance in the Stanley Cup final. You would think that would be pressure, but Bellows says Jacques Demers, he takes the pressure on himself.
He doesn't push the veterans too hard. You know, for me, he gives us the proper rest, and he gives the younger players the proper rest, but for me, he's a people person. You know, he knows when the players are up, he knows when they're down, he knows when to, you know, give them that little shot or when to give them a little rest. And he understands the up and down of the season. He understands it's a long, long haul.
Bellows has been playing throughout the playoffs with assorted injuries, still play a key role in the playoffs. 3 goals, 2 assists in the Wales final against the New York Islanders. The big reason why Montreal has advanced to the Stanley Cup final. Here is a guy who was a top draft pick coming out of juniors, expected to be the next Wayne Gretzky. That was perhaps a little bit too much for him. But still, he's been underappreciated and a better player than people think.
Yeah, everybody marvels about his offensive skills. That's a given. The knock on him is that he's been weak in the defensive zone and that he really didn't come to play every night. Well, he's shown, playing through some adversity in these playoffs, that he not only comes to play every night, but he plays extremely well when he does come.
Well, I was one of those guys who thought along the same lines. I didn't think he came to play it every night with all those great skills he has, how well he can shoot the puck. Been covering a game in the Buffalo-Montreal series. He played with a fractured rib. They had the flak jacket for him. The doctor had to pay a visit prior to the game, get the needle out and pop it about 6 times around the fractured rib to block the nerve, and he went out and played. And he played in traffic, played very well. And when you see things like that happen, you know, the guy's got some hunger.
Yeah, absolutely. Big heart, and he's really showing it in this playoff series.
Yeah, and hoping to get that first Stanley Cup. We told you that throughout the Stanley Cup finals, we would introduce you to some of the players of the Los Angeles Kings and the Montreal Canadiens. This time, Alexei Zhitnik of the Kings. He's a defenseman, but he doesn't mind jumping into the offense as well. A little 2-on-1 here with Wayne Gretzky, and finds the upper part of the net against the Flames. Also not afraid to mix it up. Wendell Clark, a tough guy, he goes right at him with a hard hit there. Zhitnik, one of the leading scorers amongst defensemen in the playoffs. We'll be back with more in just a moment. Welcome back. Game 1 of the Stanley Cup final. The Los Angeles Kings leading 2-1. Well-coached team on both sides, but the Montreal Canadiens perhaps showing the 8-day layoff is getting to them, forgetting to do some of the little things in the second half of the period.
Yeah, the first half of the period, it was all Montreal, as J.D. mentioned, but the second half, it really wasn't. Team effort was not there. Individual effort was, and we have some good things to look at. The first is Patrice Brisebois. He's a defenseman standing up right here. It's a gamble. It was a 3-on-2, but the gamble paid off as he broke up the play. Now Leclerc is going to continue the good play. Look at the rush, catches the Kings. We've got ourselves a 2-on-1, and good play by the Kings coming back to stop that shot from Lehman. This is Brunet now, killing a penalty. He's going to go out. He hustles Zhitnik there. Now he pokes the puck away into the corner. Penalty killing. Look at the valuable time. He's mucking around with Blake. He killed about 12 to 15 seconds on that penalty with sheer hustle. Now this is Kirk Muller, number 11. There's Gretzky with the puck. Muller gives him the stick, takes it away, gives it back. He gave Gretzky the place to pass the puck, and then he put the stick down for the interception and led to this scoring chance by the Habs. And they're just little things, and in a series like this, in tight games, sometimes it isn't the big passing play that works, sometimes not the great team defensive zone coverage, but the little things that can win you games in the individual effort.
I mentioned the 8 days off, J.D. Is this something that's showing up here as far as them being a little tentative in Game 1?
It's a good question. It seems to me in watching this, you're not seeing the teams make the 1, 2, and 3 passes in succession, moving up the ice to get the offensive flow going. Los Angeles, in watching them, whenever Gretzky's on the ice, and he hasn't been getting things going offensively here yet. It looks like Brisebois and Desjardins have been the defense pairing going against him. In fact, you just showed the clip of Desjardins stripping Gretzky just outside the blue line. Maybe they're making Wayne Gretzky stand up outside the blue line and not letting him get the offense going inside. The flow of the third period, I think, will tell a story about the rest.
Yeah, it's a lot easier to work on your offensive skills when you're off. So you see passing is good, you see the rushing is good. Where it suffers is the timing in the defensive zone, and that's where the second half of the period the Canadiens had trouble.
Yeah, as a result, it's 2-1 right now. The Kings have the lead, but Kelly Rudy, let's give him some credit as well. Kirk Muller, he comes out to challenge him, takes away the angle, knocks it away, and rolls over on his back to cover up.
ESPN's presentation of the Stanley Cup Finals is brought to you by the Cold Filtered Light with the smooth draft taste. MGD Light, say no more. And by Visa, it's everywhere you want to be.
Well, they couldn't forge the waterway rapids, so they unloaded and created the city that is now called Montreal. And the Canadiens right now are trailing the Los Angeles Kings by a score of 2-1 in Game 1. Gary Thorne and Bill Clement, great to have you with us. ESPN's coverage right straight through the Stanley Cup Finals. And right now, the nastiness. Los Angeles is putting on a real nasty show the way they're playing. I mean that positively. They're outdoing Montreal.
Yeah, they don't want to be too nasty in the third period because they have to avoid penalties, but they will be aggressive, as we talked about before the game, inside the hash marks. It really worked well in the second period. On this play, Rob Blake pinches in for what, about the 30th time? There's Blake in deep. This time, Tony Granato is smart. He is covering for him. As this rolls, Blake backs out, and Tony Granato realizes he can get in. He misses the pass, but he goes far to the boards and is the first guy to get to it. Corey Millen very smartly kind of moves back to cover up for him. But check it out. He's moving back. They are all three forwards inside the hash marks. And what do? When Granato goes to the net, Donnelly comes out from behind, Millen goes to the front, and they're all about 4 feet apart right in Patrick Waugh's face. That is the aggressive play inside the hash marks. The LA Kings scored their second power play goal in the second period. 3 great passes and 3 shots. There was 1 pass, then 1 shot by Wayne Gretzky, another shot by Alexei Zhitnik that Patrick Waugh had to save. Wayne Gretzky was able to retrieve the puck. Really makes a nice little pass here to Blake, and a super move by Blake before he ends up setting up Luc Robitaille for the goal. 3 passes and 3 shots. That is efficiency on the power play when you do all of those things in about a 10-second span.
Los Angeles leading it by a score of 2-1 in the playoffs this year. Los Angeles is 9-1 when they have had the lead after 2. The Montreal Canadiens have only trailed going to the third period in 2 games in the playoffs. They are 1-1 in those situations. So we are ready to go. Luc Robitaille, 2 goals in this game. He has 9 shots on goal, including 7 in the second period for Robitaille. Mercy.
We talked about him getting his chances, but I didn't think it was that many.
Now we're going to start 4-on-4 here. The Canadiens have 30 seconds left on their penalty, and they will have a power play of just about a minute. J.J. Daniel. 4-on-4 situation right now. Near side comes to Vincent Damphousse. Damphousse drops it off from Muller. Muller played it to the side. Nobody there. Muller back to get it himself. Muller back up to the point. Desjardins looking for Damphousse. Damphousse, Muller in the middle. Kicked it onto the stick. Tied up by Rob Blake, who's having a great game. Muller in front. Muller tried to shoot it. Deflected off Blake to the corner. Yari Curry's got it. 2 seconds, 1, and the power play underway. Now for the Canadiens. 59-second power play for Montreal. They have not been able to convert on their power play chances in this game. This is their 4th power play chance. Gretzky is in the box. Charlie Huddy got it up. Taylor will bring it shorthanded. They got a 3-on-2. 3-on-2. Taylor dropped it for Conacher. Poke checked away. Muller up for Bellows. Bellows coming. He's got Damphousse on the near side. Bellows back in the middle. Damphousse, Muller with him. Damphousse, the shot. Deflected by Marty McSorley into the corner. Back to Bellows. Power play for 27 seconds for the Canadiens, trying to get it tied. Damphousse up. Schneider steps in. Bellows along the boards. Matthew Schneider. Schneider's shot. He shot that one right straight into Dave Taylor. Taylor lost his stick. Still gets the puck. Clears it out. Schneider gets it back. 10 seconds on the advantage. Schneider in. Matthew Schneider didn't want to go too deep, so sends it around the boards. Damphousse. Damphousse to the middle, was open, but couldn't get a shot off. Pat Conacher, nice play. And Pat Conacher gains the red line. Gretzky's out of the box, and Patrice Brisebois almost blocked that right to him. And the Canadiens still not able to get that power play going. 0-4 in this game. Played behind the net by Patrick Waugh. Jitnik, centering pass, shot. Yari Curry scores! Yari Curry, Wayne Gretzky, and Tony Granato. And Los Angeles has a 3-1 lead.
Boy, bad clearing by Montreal and a terrific anticipation by Wayne Gretzky. And the Kings have a 3-1 lead. Boy, this combination has been around the NHL for so many years. It's just like clockwork. Wayne Gretzky to Yari Curry, absolutely all alone in front. But the Montreal Canadiens didn't expect to turn the puck over. The problem was they turned it over behind the goal line. Here's how this started. Wayne Gretzky out of the penalty box. Pat Conacher on the other side drifted a long one over to him. And then the play stayed in the Montreal zone. Once again, they did their work deep in the Montreal zone inside the hash marks.
And they have got the lead, and turning up ice with it is Wayne Gretzky, who's got 2 assists in this game. A career 341 points in the playoffs now for Wayne Gretzky. He just adds to his own record. And the Kings continue to put the heat on. All throughout the playoffs, Barry Melrose, their coach, has continued to say to them, don't be afraid of playing on the road. During the regular season, Los Angeles was 3 games under 500 on the road. During the playoffs, he's made the point over and over. They've turned into a good road team in the playoffs. They are 6-4 coming into this game in road games, outscoring the opposition now 45-41 on the road. Odeline brings it in offside. Ronan was already in the zone.
Now the big test for the Los Angeles Kings now is how are they going to play? They showed everybody in the Toronto series that they're not real good at protecting a lead when they decide that they're a defensive hockey team. You know why? They're not a defensive hockey team. Barry Melrose now is undoubtedly telling his guys, attack, attack, attack. That's what we do best. We're not a defensive team. You look at the personnel from top to bottom, from Wayne Gretzky to Tony Granato to Corey Millen. These are gifted hockey players, but their strength is offense and not defense. Play to their strength. Attack.
Well, let's see if they continue it here. Kelly Hrudey, a mighty happy goaltender right now. He's got at least 2 to work with here. This will be chased down by Matthew Schneider. The shots are up to 32-21. Back with it, 2-on-1. DiPietro, Kelly Hrudey off the stick. He made a save that he thought had gone into the net. Shot, Dion, and he missed it wide. Lyle Odeline, point shot deflected in front. Save, Hrudey, where is it? He kicks it behind the net. Benoit Brunet drops it off for Odeline. And right now, the red-hot goaltender's name is Kelly Hrudey. Don't ever make a clean save. Let it bounce around. Have some fun, Kelly. 3-1 Los Angeles.
Well, here's the mix-up that led to the Yari Curry goal. Patrice Brisebois came back. Patrick Waugh dumped it to him. Brisebois looked away, and it went off his skates. And when Tony Granato swept in, he kind of poked it to Wayne Gretzky. 1-2-3 right out front.
Yari Curry, 102 career playoff goals. He's number 2 all-time, chasing the guy who set him up, Wayne Gretzky, who's got 108. And it is a 3-1 Los Angeles lead. Brisebois from the point. The shot, Kelly Hrudey the save. Muller down on the ice, tried to tip it in. Tony Granato would not let him up. Prior to that last shot by the Montreal Canadiens, Kings had 14 unanswered shots on goal. As the Kings are beginning to dominate. Marty McSorley behind the net. 4 minutes into the 3rd period, game 1 of the Stanley Cup Finals. All of them to be seen right here on ESPN. We'll be back here on Thursday night with game 2 from the Forum. Los Angeles Kings, if they're going to win it, have got to win one on the road. And right now they're up 2. Gary Lehman dropped it. LeClaire in. Shot! missed the net. He went high, and he put it over the crossbar. Rebound comes up for the point. Desjardins turns, shot, tipped Leclerc. Kelly Hrudey doesn't have his stick.
Neither does
shot, Brisebois.
McSorley's without his, and Rudy's is in the corner.
2 without a stick. Donnelly says, get it out of here. Off Brisebois. They'll go back and get Kelly Hrudey's stick. Tim Waters found it, so now they get everybody with a piece of lumber. Cleared out to center ice, so Los Angeles really avoided a bullet right there. A defenseman and a goaltender without a piece of wood in their hand.
Piece of lumber, piece of aluminum, whatever it is.
Whatever shoots the hardest. J.J. Daniel drops it off. Brought in by LeBeau. LeBeau taken out of the play by Shipnick. Near side, Damphus. Damphus trying to set up Bellows. Deflected by Blake to the wide side. LeBeau over to get it. Can't hold it in. Comes to center. Damphus back to get it. Deflected along the blue line. Play by Shipnick. We tried to talk about matchups at the start of the game. We like to look like we know what the heck's going on. I'll tell you what's happened in this game. Los Angeles Kings are doing just what they've done all season. Not made one change. They don't care who you put out there. They're going to play their game and just keep on coming. Gretzky moving in. Gretzky centering pass. Robitaille for the trick. Deflected wide.
Broke his stick right in half in the middle of his shaft. There had to be a weak point in there because he didn't even shoot it hard, but it broke flush in the shaft.
LeBeau sent that one in. Both teams changing it up on the fly. Played by Matthew Schneider. Schneider waiting for teammates together at center. Lyle Odeline pushes it away. Played back by Jari Kurri. Jari Kurri 1, Robitaille 2 for the goals in this game. Dion trying to hold it in. Kurri got it out. Schneider will chase it down. Matthew Schneider. Schneider driven deep. Robitaille all over. Shuchuk also there. Still not out of the zone. Finally cleared. Brunet. Benoit Brunet moves it in. Brunet spinning. Finds Schneider. Schneider. Good back checking. Gary Shuchuk caught his stick as he wound up. Robitaille, Jari Kurri, Sador with him. Canadians get back. Robitaille was lined up, but Schneider reached in and poked it away. Matthew Schneider, Dave Taylor moved in on him. 13:40 left to go, third period. Los Angeles leading the Canadiens 3-1. DiPietro to Brunet. His shot deflected into the corner. Marty McSorley went down and blocked it. Played by DiPietro. DiPietro, Dion, and Brunet on the line. Sador, Odeline holds it in. Odeline trying to set DiPietro and Dion up in front of the net. Down they go. Penalty coming up as Brunet got dumped. It'll be a power play for the Canadiens, and there's the whistle as the puck came outside the zone. Well, a power play chance here for the Canadiens. Our Miller genuine draft light scoring summary. Robitaille, his 7th of the playoffs. 3:03 of the power play. Shitnick and Sandstrom in the first. Robitaille went at it again unassisted after Ronan had scored at 18:09. It went off Gretzky's stick to tie the game. Robitaille picked up yet another on the power play at 17:41. Blake and Gretzky picking up the assist. And the great one involved again as Jari Kurri got his 9th. Gretzky and Granato, Los Angeles up 3-1.
And as soon as the Los Angeles Kings went up 3-1, they started to play just about exclusively in their own end. They've fallen back. Their man-to-man coverage is a little late. Charlie Huddy with the hook on Benoit Brunet. And Montreal's power play. It hasn't done much in this game so far and has sputtered lately in the playoffs. They went 1 for 25 against the New York Islanders, and they're 0 for in this hockey game tonight.
Charlie Huddy is gone for hooking at 6:41. There you see the power play numbers. Montreal the 0 for. Here's their chance again. This is their 5th power play chance of the game. In the 3 games these teams played during the regular season, Montreal went 6 for 22 in the power play against Los Angeles, but nothing like that here tonight yet. Desjardins in his own end, intended for Mullet. Waters intercepts. His pass deflected to the near side, and the fans booing here as this power play frustrating for fans and players. Damphus with a minute 29 on the advantage moves it in. Passing to nobody that time. There was no one on the other wing. Kelly Hrudey will cover up on it. Hang on.
Good play by Rob Blake. Vincent Damphus, as we mentioned, led the Montreal Canadiens in scoring this year. A hometown guy, a French Canadian, and the Canadiens are loaded with French Canadian players. You know, the ticket situation here is just about impossible even for the home team. Watch this play by Rob Blake. Top right of your screen, number 4 of the Kings, as Damphus comes down on him. This is textbook. The puck goes by, and look at Blake. He put the shoulder into Vincent Damphus. That allowed Waters, number 5, time to get back, allowed Hrudey time to get the puck. But the LA Kings are having an easier time getting tickets, believe it or not, than Montreal. Kurt Muller told me this morning when I said, how many family members you got coming? He said, as many as I can get tickets for. I said, how many is that? He said, 6. We're allowed 6 tickets. You know what that means? The third cousins don't even go to the phone. You're not going to get a ticket.
Don't even second that first cousins are in trouble.
Right.
Face off back to the point. Matthew Schneider over to Brisebois. His shot. Kelly Rudy deflected. Blake off the boards to Taylor. Dave Taylor bangs it out of the zone. Minute 14 remaining on the Montreal power play. A 3-1 lead for the Los Angeles Kings here in game 1. Matthew Schneider got it away to center. Brunet brings it. Brunet with DiPietro. Back to Brunet. Brunet circling, looks for Brisebois. Over to Schneider. Schneider in for Dion, but they're on the periphery here. DiPietro, good play to hold on to that to Brunet. Brunet wanted to go behind the net on the pass. McSorley denied. Comes back to Brunet. 45 on the power play. Brisebois takes the shot. Kelly Rudy will glove it. It was wide. DiPietro reached in and Rob Blake slashed it.
Well, that's Paul DiPietro's style, isn't it? He's a terrific agitator. We've talked about the All-American line for the Kings as agitators. Well, Paul DiPietro, number 15 for the Canadiens, can match them. Little guy at 5'9" and 180. But the Canadiens now have 41 seconds left on their power play. They need something, and they need it bad. If for no other reason, to get the crowd back into it. These guys know what it's like when this building starts to rock. But I've only heard him cheer once loudly, and that was for the goal. And even on big scoring chances, when this crowd seems quiet to me here tonight, and this team has not been able to bring him back into it.
This team's getting outplayed right now. That's one of the reasons why they're getting out hit. There's DiPietro, who'll try to rev it up for the Montreal Canadiens, as he did in that last shift. And the man they rely on in times like this is Kirk Muller. Not just the physical play, but also to pick up some points. 41 seconds left on the power play for the Canadiens. Talked about Barry Melrose and the style. Even though it's Los Angeles and it's the sun, sand, surf, and all that stuff, Barry Melrose comes from Saskatchewan. The kind of hockey he played as a kid is just what you see the Kings play out here right now. Rough, tough, and at times a pretty nasty style of game. That's what he's got the Kings doing. It's the way they played this season. Jari Kurri had it deflected. Cleared out to Gretzky. Gretzky coming. Gretzky short-handed. Waters will trail. Waters from Gretzky. Still has it. Back in the middle. Wow, the save. And he knew Gretzky was somewhere near. He tried to tip it away to the corner. In the middle, Schneider. 25 left in the power play to Muller. Couldn't handle it. He had a free lane there. Muller back to get it. Still a power play for Montreal. Off the boards to Schneider. Schneider, he'll take it. Deflected by Marty McSorley. Desjardins. Muller lets it go near side to Bellows. 10 left on the power play. Bellows behind the net. Muller. McSorley ties him up, spins him around, got him down. Damphus to Schneider. Gretzky intercepts. Gretzky coming. Penalties over. Huddy joins the play. Gretzky in. Shot saved by Waugh. The Los Angeles Kings up by 2. The big deal with Edmonton that brought Wayne Gretzky south was made, of course, by Bruce McNall, who said, I want a cup in Los Angeles. This is the guy who can do it. McNall, of course, is on hand watching the team play here, trying to find tickets for Kurt Russell and Goldie Hawn.
I saw it before the game, Gary, and I said, stay calm, Bruce. And he laughed. He said, I'm going to try because he was real nervous before Game 7 in Toronto.
John LeClair blocked by Blake, broke his stick. Blake in the corner. Blake right now is vying for one of the 3 stars in this game. They try to get back to the point. Lon Lodeline's got to chase it down. Had Donnelly coming after him. J.J. Daniels got it. Goldie Hawn has turned into a great fan. Los Angeles area, of course, just really excited about the Kings' performance here this season. First time they've been to the Stanley Cup. First time they've been beyond the second round. Stanley Cup playoffs. Donnelly moves it in. His shot, that's deflected. High off the glass, and that'll end up in the seats.
You talk about the stars that are coming out of the woodwork to become LA Kings fans. Before Game 7, Bruce McNall had over 100 phone messages on his phone mail at the hotel in Toronto, and he said 71 of the messages were stars with their private planes that wanted to come to Toronto and land their planes. I don't know if he exaggerated or not. Wayne Gretzky picked that one out of midair. You can't get it by Wayne with just a little elevator pass. But he looked and looked and looked and then finally took the shot, but Patrick Waugh was waiting for it. Patrick Waugh knows he's got pretty good coverage away from the play, and that's why he can stand his ground.
Dennis?
That's Janet
Gretzky.
That's Janet Gretzky.
There's Hubby on the bench. They've already been promised by Goldie Hawn they will have a party at the end of this season. In fact, put off production of the next movie. The producer agreed so long as Goldie Hawn would invite the producer and director to the party. They said yes. So movie's off. Cleared up and out of the zone by Dion. Charlie Huddy. Glove down by Dion. Dion drops it off DiPietro with Brunet. DiPietro to Brunet. Kicked it wide. Brunet looking to center. Taken by Pat Conacher. DiPietro on him. Held in by Brisebois. Back to Brunet. Brunet still has it. Benoit Brunet. Dion off Kelly Rudy. Reaching. Not quite. Almost lost his stick on that one. Canadiens getting a little feisty themselves right now with 9:52 left to go and trailing by 2 goals in game 1. Brisebois, his shot. Kelly Rudy save. Rebound none. Dion whacked away. Kelly Rudy had it under the glove. Visa storyline here at the Forum. And Montreal, Robitaille has had 2 power play goals in this game. Ed Ronan got the Montreal goal, but it went off Gretzky's stick. Jari Kurri, his 9th of the playoffs, and the Montreal power play, as it has all season, has not been effective.
Well, Montreal is carrying the play now to the LA Kings. The Kings, if they get a break, will this be a one-shot deal because they're pulling out deep in the Montreal zone. The Canadiens, on the other hand, are trying to put people in behind and all around Kelly Rudy. Here's Patrice Brisebois. He had to hurry it and get it away, but number 45, Gilbert Dion was in front. You saw him chop at Kelly Rudy. What else is he going to do? It's 3-1.
34-27 shots on goal in favor of the Kings. New York Islanders had 42 shots against Montreal in one game. That is the most any team has had in the playoffs against the Canadiens this season. LA threatening to reach that mark. Blake tying up Muller. Muller got it back though to Schneider, but he couldn't get it. Look out, here comes Gretzky. Gretzky, 3-on-2. Gretzky with Sandstrom and Kurri. Sandstrom looking in front. Shot on Waugh. Makes the save twice as Tomas Sandstrom. 1 good shot, 1 rebound shot.
I'll tell you how smart Jari Kurri is, Gary. He was in front of the net, and all he did was move away. As the play developed and came down the ice, Wayne Gretzky just ended up in a race with it for the puck with Matt Schneider, and he ended up getting ahead of him on the play. And watch him come here. Now, Wayne Gretzky's going to get joined on the play by a couple of people, so he goes in deep, tries to drop it to Sandstrom. It doesn't work. We'll stop right here, okay, for a second. Look at Jari Kurri. He's staying back over here so that this defenseman's got a hedge and play back there. As a result, Sandstrom was able to get in front for a shot.
Good play as they spread it out. Back comes Vincent Damphousse. Damphousse leaves it for Bellows. Bellows trying to move it around the players down on the ice. Couldn't do it. Back comes Gretzky again. It's another 3-on-2. Gretzky, Sandstrom, and Reichel. Tomas Sandstrom. Wow! Yet another glove save for Patrick Waugh. I have always felt on the Los Angeles Kings, next to Gretzky, as important a man as there is number 7, Tomas Sandstrom.
When he is healthy, Gary, and when he is playing his game, which isn't getting over-agitated, he can do it all. He can score, he can check, he is mean when he has to be. Sometimes he gets too mean and takes some bad penalties. Other times he's injured. But I agree with you, when Sandstrom is on his game, he is a force.
He's their 2nd leading scorer in the playoffs now, behind Gretzky. Came in with 23 points in the playoffs. 18 you saw in the last 15 games. Gretzky loves playing with Tomas Sandstrom. He likes having him on the line with him. Sandstrom can both feed and score. Kurt Muller comes away with it. 8:56. The clock now running against the Canadiens here at home. J.J. Daniel moving it in off the Damphousse. Damphousse trying to drop it in the middle. Muller flips it back. Lyle Odeline. His shot off Muller. Muller trying to center again. Blocked and picked up by Donnelly. Donnelly coming. Corey Millen in the middle. Granato near side. Too far for him. Off the skate to center. Brian Bellows has got it. Bellows very quiet in this game. He has not had chances. Damphousse drops it off to Lyle Odeline. Odeline didn't take the shot as Waters moved in. Centered. Muller! It's on the line! And pulled out by Corey Millen. That puck was sitting on the goal line. Shot save made by Kelly Rudy.
Well, that's the 3rd time this has happened to Kelly Rudy, Gary. You don't know where it is. Don't move because you might put it in. And Kelly Rudy waited. Corey Millen bailed him. Well, how close can it get? Real close from Kelly Rudy's standpoint. This was deflected off of the post. He didn't know where it was. He waited. Watch Corey Millen come in. Pop. He just popped it gently underneath Kelly Rudy's pad. No sweat, right?
What a play by Corey Millen and by Kelly Rudy. They have the presence of mind to just stay there and hang on. Back Back in front, LeBeau. Knocked away by Yari Curry. LeBeau poke checked away again. Brisebois couldn't get it at the point. 8 minutes left to go in this third period of Game 1 of the Stanley Cup Finals. And the Los Angeles Kings putting on a show. Robitaille going for the hat trick. Robitaille up, shot. It's blocked out deep. Desjardins. Desjardins back near side Leclerc. Leclerc wind up, no shot, centering pass, no shot again. Played by Yari Curry. Canadiens passing up some chances here in this third period on the opportunities to get some shots on, which may be what they need right now. And Kelly Rudy, they take that extra weight. LA is getting back on defense. DiPietro off to Brunet. Brunet with Dion. Gets squeezed by Blake. Came back to get it. Poked away by Tomas Sandstrom. Sandstrom dropped it. Sandstrom had been called Tomas when he played for the Rangers. Thomas when he went to California. So I asked him this morning, what do you want to be called? He said, I don't care.
T. Sandstrom.
Yeah, he said, I don't care. He said, Tomas at home. I said, well, hey, consider yourself at home.
Well, there's a little known fact for you folks right there. 44 out of 54 times the Game 1 winner has won the Stanley Cup. And Kelly Rudy and his troops are now 7 minutes and 12 seconds away from victory number 1. They know about trying to protect leads, though. They're not that good at it. Even the Toronto Maple Leafs were able to gobble up a lot of the LA leads in that series. And Toronto doesn't exactly have an offensive powerhouse.
36 years old with a chance to win the Stanley Cup. His first year coaching in the National Hockey League. Barry Melrose. In the corner, Marty McSorley. Jammed off the boards for DiPietro. Tied up by Pat Conacher. Brunet moves over. McSorley on him. McSorley and Brunet do battle. DiPietro dropped it back in front, but he couldn't get the shot off. DiPietro was there. Played up. Taylor. Dave Taylor. The rush on Schneider. Good play. Taylor. DiPietro stepped in. Lyle Oderline clearing it up. It is a quiet forum here in Montreal right now, as Bill mentioned earlier. Waters has it. Waters flips it up in the air. Played Conacher. Lyle Oderline poked it away from him. Scalpers on the street. They're getting about 250 for the red seats and 1 to 150 for the ones behind them. Lyle Oderline brings it in. Full house, of course. Dion shot, save made. Kelly Rudy. That one right on the pads. A 3-1 lead with 6:25 to go. Jacques Demeur's team has the perfect 8-0 mark here at the Forum in the playoffs, threatened right now.
And Gary, naturally, Jacques Demers wouldn't declare who he would rather face, Toronto or the LA Kings. But one thing Jacques knew, because it's one thing that everybody knew, a team that puts a lot of pressure on you inside the hash marks makes it a lot tougher for young defensemen. Patrice Brisebois had a mix-up with Patrick Roy. That led to the third LA Kings goal. Toronto Maple Leafs don't pressure you that much. They wait for you. They were a bigger, older, slower team. The LA Kings are not necessarily a young team across the board. They've got some young defensemen, but they're a fast team, small team. They keep coming at you and they keep attacking. So in that sense, even though Demers wouldn't commit to which team he would rather play, his young defensemen are going to really be tested in this series.
Very much so, and they have been in this game. We'll have Game 2 from the Forum Thursday night. 7:30 Eastern Time. We'll be right back with you. Thursday night, Game 2. Kirk Muller back to J.J. Daigneault. Daigneault flipped it in. Deflected wide. Never got in on goal. Shitnick was there to knock it away. Harry Curry hitting Muller behind the net. Muller kicked it away. Centering pass. Downfuss tipped it, but it didn't get in on net. Shitnick and Muller battle in front of the net. Puck loose behind it. Muller trying to set up in front. Blake putting the pin up. Muller comes back. Jam side of the net. And Kelly Rudy gets the skate on it.
That's some terrific persistence by the Montreal Canadiens, because the Kings had the Velcro out. That was tight, man-to-man coverage, and the Canadiens just kept battling along the boards, and hardly anybody's better than Kirk Muller along the boards because he uses his feet so well.
That'll be the one we'll have for you Thursday night, 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific. Game 2 of the Stanley Cup Finals from the Forum. As we said, the series, you play 2 here, 2 in Los Angeles, then you go 1-1-1. In order for Los Angeles to win, they have got to win at least one game here in Montreal, and right now they're up by 2. 6:02 left to go in Game 1.
Well, they haven't had many home ice advantages this year in the playoffs, have they?
They have not. They finished 11th in the league. Overall, Montreal finished 6th overall, so the team that would have the no home ice when they went into the playoffs as it kept whittling down was the Los Angeles Kings.
All the way along.
All the way along.
They have not yet had a home ice advantage.
Always starting somewhere else. And Barry Melrose got them to think positive about that, and they are again here tonight. Rob Blake clearing it up the boards. Dave Taylor on the boards. Desjardins rather held it in. Conacher gets it. Conacher around for Granato. Granato just tips it out of the zone. Dave Taylor giving chase. Taylor, Desjardins, and the poke check brought in by Granato offside, stopping the clock at 5:43 left to go here in the third period. Montreal power play not working. Big story in this game. They've gone 0 for 5. 2 power play goals have been picked up in this game, both by Robitaille for the Kings.
Boy, the grinders have been grinding for the LA Kings. And now Jacques Demers' team had a lot going early in this hockey game because they were able to go toe-to-toe in the odd man rush department with the LA Kings. They were getting as many 2-on-1s, as many 3-on-2s. But this team could not make a steady diet of just matching odd man rushes. Against the New York Islanders in 5 games, they gave up 6 odd man rushes. They have given up 6 in this hockey game tonight.
5:43 remaining. A bit ironic here in the Stanley Cup Finals. The postseason awards that are made to the winners of all the different awards in the National Hockey League for regular season play, those aren't announced until after the playoffs are over. There's not one player in the Stanley Cup Finals who's in line to receive any postseason awards. That hasn't happened for a while. Jari Kurri backs it up. Kurri dumped it to Robitaille, got it off Shuchuk, cleared it in. Brisebois from behind his own net. Brisebois up. Damphousse over to Brisebois. They have got to take chances now. Bellows brings it in. Bellows the shot. Kelly Rudy knocked away. Montreal's going to have to pinch down on the defense. That may open up some more scoring chances like this. At center, Jari Kurri. Kurri waiting. Kings are going to change. Kurri in. The shot wide of Roy. Tomas Sandstrom holds it in on the far side. That deflects behind the net. Played near side. Desjardins. 4:53 left to go in the third. Rolling along the blue line. Gary Lehman overskated. Sandstrom picks it up. Sandstrom near side to Gretzky. Gretzky with a couple of assists of the game. Patrick Roy knocked it down. Brisebois back.
Got a goal, too.
And a goal.
It just happens to be Montreal's only goal.
It's just the wrong net, that's all. But he can laugh about it if they hang on to the lead. Chased into the corner. Marty McSorley up to Gretzky. Gretzky brings it in. He's got Reichel cutting. Pokes it away from Lyle Odeline. Spun around by Schneider. Puck behind the net. Sandstrom centered. Tipped. Gretzky shot. And it was blocked. LeBeau was there to block it. 3-1. Los Angeles Kings up in this game. Ed Ronan the only goal for Montreal. Canadiens being outshot here 37-30 in a game that as it wore on was more and more dominated by the Kings. Right now Montreal cannot get into the offensive zone. Dave Taylor back. Taylor with Conacher cutting to the net. Taylor. Schneider fell down. Taylor. And they'll just rag it back. Lyle Odeline there. Conacher there. Just take more time off that clock right now. Don't cough it up. Back Conacher to Granato. Granato back for Conacher. Keep away time. Chased down by Schneider on the far side. 3:30 remaining here in the third period. Kings will not allow Montreal to get going up ice here. Gilbert Dion, Canadiens changing his blue line shot. Kelly Rudy knocks it down. Rudy trying to pick up the victory here. Is 4-10-3 lifetime against Montreal this season. He had a loss and 2 ties in the 3 games they played. Poked away. Donnelly was up ice. Near side. J.J. Daniel can't get it out. Held in Robitaille to Kurri. Kurri the shot. Deflected to the wide side.
Boy, they're actually booing here now, Gary. A lot of the fans are booing.
Some are leaving. I wouldn't do that yet. The 2:55 left to go. Dion sends it back. Again, the Canadiens changing.
Well, what did Patrick Roy say in our open? There's no pressure here when you win, only when you lose. These people are used to such a standard of excellence. This is hard to take because they have been shut down.
Gary Thorne, Bill Clement back here with you. We're down to 2 minutes and 40 seconds left to go in this third period of game one. Rob Blake holds it in. The shot on Waugh is wide. Rebound back for Shitnick. Los Angeles Kings looking to pick up the game one win here on the road against Montreal. And right now they're in mighty fine position to do it. Thomas Sandstrom had it knocked away. Cleared wide. He is not a happy goaltender right now. He really banged away at that puck in anger. Brought in at the other end by Desjardins. Was heading to the bench. They've got the extra skater, Muller. The Damphus knocked away to the point. Empty net at the other end now. Gretzky chasing it down. Bellows back to get it. 2:05 to go, and they pulled the goaltender. How about that? Sandstrom, Gretzky waiting. Come here, baby. Gretzky shot. Score! Wayne Gretzky! An empty net goal, and it is a 4-1 Los Angeles lead.
Well, there's probably only one guy that's watching this hockey game that could say that's exactly what I would have done with the puck, and I would have scored, and that is Mario Lemieux, because Wayne Gretzky had just about an impossible angle, and he didn't even take any time at all. With Patrick Waugh sneaking to the bench, trying to catch the LA Kings with over 2 minutes to go. Sandstrom pinched up on the play. Terrific play by Sandstrom, but watch Gretzky. Off the boards, sharp angle. He had to put it right inside the post, and he didn't even think twice. He just let it rip. Watch. Didn't stop it, just let it rip, didn't touch post or anything.
You think Patrick Waugh was upset that he was coming out with that much time left in the game?
I don't think so. I think he's just angry at the way this game has been played. He had a mix-up with Patrick Griesbaum, and he may have been, I'm guessing.
I don't know either.
It's been a frustrating game for Patrick Waugh because he's seen his defense around him not play the way he's used to seeing them play.
A 4-1 lead as Wayne Gretzky picks up the goal. He's got a big game going here with a goal and 2 assists now. Cleared in front by Taylor. Granado back to get it. That is his 109th all-time career playoff goal, and that, of course, is a record. Penalty coming up here. Delayed call. There's the whistle. Going to get a cross-checking call with 1:19 left to go here in period number 3. And we invite you to stay tuned right here on ESPN. Coming up next, the Baltimore Orioles will be taking on the Oakland A's. Cal Ripken getting hot. RBIs in 3 straight games. Batting .500 over the last 3. Ricky Henderson 6 for 16 in the last 4 for him. It'll be Baltimore and Oakland. Baltimore winning last night 3-1 against the A's. Stay right here. It's coming right up. In the first games of series Los Angeles this season against Calgary, they had a 6-3 win. They lost to Vancouver in game 1 5-2, and they lost to Toronto in game 1 4-1. So they're going to even that up here with a victory in game 1 here.
And Daigneault has taken the penalty for Montreal, and it was a good call. He slashed Granado twice and then cross-checked him, so that pretty well takes care of any miracle comeback that the Canadians come out here. We're down 1:05.
Daigneault out on the cross-check, and the power play number 6 for Los Angeles already with 2 power play goals. Remember, we mentioned early on in this broadcast, Montreal Canadiens, in order to be successful, need to play at even strength. They're an even strength team. Just the opposite for LA. They use their specialty teams all over the place, shorthanded and on the power play. All season, it's been that way for them. Blake fakes. 4-1 lead, 38 seconds left to go here at the Forum. And the Los Angeles Kings are about to get the first victory in the playoffs here. Gretzky trying to move out in front. Guy Carbonneau knocked him down.
He banked it off the side of the net and then went around his check to try to get it again.
Set it up. Blake shot. Deflected by Robitaille, who's going for the hat trick. Blake didn't get that one. Guy Carbonneau does. 16 seconds left to go. This will be the first loss at home for Los Angeles in the playoffs. Gretzky up ice, went by him. Patrick Waugh goes back to get it. Played around the net by J.J. Daigneault, and a mighty, dejected Montreal Canadiens team watches the final second tick off. The Los Angeles Kings have won their 7th road game in the playoffs. They are now 7-4. They have won 2 road games in each of the previous series, and they start this one out with a 4-1 win in Montreal.
And Barry Melrose only had 2 days to prep his guys, but boy, they came out playing the way they play best. Attack, attack, attack. Montreal tried to match that and couldn't. And then when the LA Kings had to settle it down a little bit, they did and preserved the lead.
What a mighty, impressive game. The Los Angeles Kings 4, the Montreal Canadiens 1-0 in the Stanley Cup Finals. John?
All right, Gary, Bill, thanks a lot. It's the 3rd time in the last 4 years that the road team has won game 1. Keep this in mind. Since 1939, when they went to a best-of-7, the team that won game 1 has won 82% of the time, so that bodes well for the Kings. Here's a team that was barely over 500 during the regular season, and they're 3 wins away from the Cup.
Well, in my opinion, when you watch this game, it was kind of dissected into 2 halves. The first half of the game, to me, Kelly Hrudey kept his team in it. Once they got in it, they just took over and took it away from Montreal. And think about this. The last 5 games that Los Angeles has won in this year's playoffs, Gretzky either has the game-winning goal or assisted on the game-winning goal. That's performance.
Yeah, the Kings brought the same emotion they finished the Maple Leaf series with into this game. The Habs, I really think the layoff hurt them. They were very poor with their defensive zone coverage. That's a matter of timing. I think they'll rectify that in Game 2.
All right, 4-1 is the final. The Montreal Canadiens a loser to the Los Angeles Kings. Let's return to the Montreal Forum and join our Tom Mees. Tom.
All right, John Saunders with Captain Wayne Gretzky, 1 goal and 2 assists. Wayne, 4-1 win. You couldn't ask for any better medicine than this to start the playoff final.
We're pretty excited, but you know, it's a long way to go yet. We played 3 good games in a row now, 6-7 tonight, and you know, fortunately with Barry, he'll get us going for the next game, and we're ready for Game 2.
Okay, now listen, were you surprised at the Canadiens' lack of timing, it seemed, in their own defensive zone in this game?
Well, they're a little bit out of sync, partly because they missed some days off, and I think they're partly out of sync because of our forechecking. I think our forechecking is something they haven't seen in the playoffs. And good news for us is we'll go harder next game. Bad news for them. But Jacques Demers is a very good coach. He's going to have them ready for Game 2, and we got our work cut out.
Thank you, Wayne. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Wayne Gretzky, 1 goal and 2 assists. The Kings take a 1-game-to-none lead in the series. Back to Gary Thorne. Gary?
Tom, thank you very much. And our final score here at the Forum, Los Angeles Kings coming away with a victory 4-1 to take the series lead. Game 2 right here at the Forum. That will be on Thursday. We'll have it for you. Game number 2, 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific. That's on Thursday night as the Kings go after the Canadiens one more time. Remember, Major League Baseball is coming up next. Baltimore taking on Oakland. You'll see that right after some messages. That's going to do it from Montreal. For Bill Clement, all of our crew, Tom Mees, El Morganti included, I'm Gary Thorne. Thanks for joining us. Good night, everybody.